Yo,
Mic check.
you got me, bro?
Yep, I hear you. Perfect. Loud and clear. What's going on?
Good, man. How you doing over there?
Hey, bro, we chilling.
Out there in paradise.
Chilling. What is going on, man? I figured it's Friday. I wasn't doing nothing. Want to see if you was doing something. If not, hey, talk about something tonight.
Well, I mean, there's a lot. There's always a lot, right? It's an interesting season, college football.
Isn't it, though?
It's what they said. I think last week they said there was 35 losses by top 25 teams, like the first time this ever happened through 4 weeks or whatever it was. Something crazy like that. Jim, I mean, obviously we're not going to talk about us right now. Let me get a couple drinks in first.
Yeah.
You know, the boy Jimbo didn't shit the bed over there. You know, that's actually probably because we talked a lot about that before. Texas A&M.
Let's talk a little bit about Jimbo first. Let's do a quick roll call. We don't have a lot of people in here tonight. More people may trickle in, but let's at least shout out who we do got in here for right now.
Sure.
Joel Hayward, Pat, Till Dog, No Squad, Bobby, Sporadics, Maiden Day, FSU Tony, Mr. Wolf, E-Dub, Kane, and I think I already said you, Pat, but shout out to Pat again. But yeah, man, let's talk about Jimbo since you brought him up. The $10 million man is about to probably go. What? That's this weekend would be three straight losses, correct?
Yep. And he's what's he on year?
This is year 3.
Year 3 of that?
Is this year 3?
He did.
Yeah. This is year 3. This is year 3.
Is it?
Yeah, because we had Willie for a year and a half. Norvell's first year was last year. No, so this would be year 4.
Right, because he did 3 years with
Right, no, this is year 4.
Kellen Mond, remember? He had Kellen Mond for 3 years.
Rose was good. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know. You're supposed to be
year 4
settled in.
Year 4 is your year. I remember before the season you said, no, if you look at A&M's schedule, they have a legit chance.
They sure did.
This is year 4. This is supposed to be, year 4 is where you kind of really look what a coach is kind of brought in and look, no one's gonna be mad at him for losing to Bama, but that Arkansas and Mississippi State games, I don't think those were predicted at all. And if you see the way Georgia handled Arkansas, Jimbo's kind of not living up to the billing over there, right?
I'll tell you one thing. And this. I mean, it's going to relate to Miami, but we're recruiting the kid Shamar Stewart, right? Yeah. And we were clearly in the lead for that, and then A&M jumped in, and they said one of the reasons was how they developed D-line talent. They got that kid over there, DeMarvin Leal or whatever. He's the most overrated football player I've seen in like 10 or 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Especially you're talking about a D-line. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like you're supposed to be a top 10 guy, and I'm over here watching, like A&M versus Colorado. I'm watching the game like, oh, this Leo cat's supposed to be serious. I see nothing. So Jimbo might have had the hype machine going in his favor big time. Big time, whoever they were paying off to kind of get them going, because that just doesn't look good. I like the running back they got, though. The kid Spiller, yeah, he looks nice. But Jimbo, yeah, it might be karma, man. He's had 4 solid recruiting classes, right? Solid. And they don't got a backup quarterback. Lord knows how good the actual starter was if they want to use that excuse. I doubt the starter's that much better than that kid they got right now. You know what I mean?
I mean, like you said, man's had 4 years of recruiting.
So I mean that he's been a top tier recruiter at A&M.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you there. Like I don't know if we can use the injury excuse for a Jimbo.
I don't think you're.
This isn't me really trying to pile on him. Obviously, I could for obvious reasons. But I mean, I brought up this point before. And this was before they lost these previous 2 games, but I was saying this kind of coming into the season. What has Jimbo done that Sumlin hadn't done?
Agreed.
Sumlin was recruiting his ass off too. You forget Sumlin recruited the Myles Garretts of the world and those guys.
Sumlin had arguably, and I'm not big on Aggie football, but obviously Manziel's got to be the best player in the history of that program.
Right.
That's a Sumlin kid.
Originally recruited Kyle Murray before he went to Oklahoma, but he was originally an Aggie and again, my thing was always, what has Jimbo done so far that Sumlin hadn't done? It's looking kind of the same.
I'll say this: the only thing I gotta knock Sumlin for, when he had remember he had Kyle Allen and Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he did.
He had them both in the same class, and whatever he did over there, he didn't handle that situation well at all.
I agree with that. Both of those quarterbacks end up leaving. So whatever happened there, he definitely didn't handle that.
Imagine.
Go ahead.
Imagine though how different it is if because Kyler Murray clearly ended up being the better college quarterback, right? So
better quarterback, period.
Yeah. So you can't. I don't know. I just imagine his future would be different if he just you see what I'm saying? Let that play out. But who knows? Who knows, man?
So I'm with you though. Like again, I'm not trying to pile on good old Jimbo, but and if you're not familiar, the Friday shows, triple shots, we just talk about a broad scope of topics. This isn't just Florida State, Miami talk. This is everything. So
absolutely.
We will eventually get to our teams, but like he said, we probably need a few drinks before we start talking about those two teams. But we are just going to talk about football in general, whether it's NFL, college. And today we start off with good old Jimbo.
You know what?
How many more losses do you see for Jimbo? Okay, so we got Bama, right? Let's say that's a given unless Jimbo comes in, focus, pull something. It's college football. Anything can happen, right?
That's a loss. That's a loss.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. But, let's just – what else is on the – they haven't played Auburn yet. They haven't played LSU yet.
They got Missouri in 2 weeks, so they'll beat Missouri.
Right.
Probably be a close game, a closer game than it needs to be, right? But they got Missouri, South Carolina, so they'll win those two. Let's say they go 2-0, but then they run into Auburn and Ole Miss. They're losing those two games.
Ole Miss, I forgot about Ole Miss.
Yeah. Now, I think Ole Miss is going to score the ball against them. I don't think they can really score as much as what Ole Miss will do to them. You know what I mean? But then they got Prairie View A&M. Then they got LSU, which maybe LSU. Well, they're in Death Valley at LSU. They're not winning that game this year.
Right.
So what? They'll be bowl eligible. They'll get to 6.
Yeah, they'll get the bowl. Yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, are you paying $10 million for that?
Mm-mm. But now you're to the point though. What was it? Wasn't it 10 years on a deal?
He's got like a limited deal there. Like because they just gave him some type of huge extension.
Oh.
It was his original contract. I think was like a 10-year. Yeah, it was like 10 years, $7.5 million a year. The overall contract was like $75 million, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't remember, they just gave like a week or two ago or before the season, they gave him like a massive extension.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So it was 10 years, 75.
Right. That was
and then a 4-year extension through 2031. That's insane. And you can't. That's crazy, bro. I'll say this: whoever his agent is, salute.
Sexton, same agent as Taggart.
Bro, he killed it.
Yeah.
He killed it, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I don't see anybody again outside of Spiller on that roster.
Where's he dropping the ball at? Like you said, he's recruiting top 10 over there. Where's Jimbo dropping the ball at? He's got all the facilities he complained about he didn't have at Florida State.
Right.
All the money to get the best deep coordinators. I mean, come on, we know A&M money's long, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So where's Jimbo dropping the ball at? Is it just because it's the SEC? Is it? Or is it, I think it's a little bit more than that.
What is Jimbo supposed to be, though? He's supposed to be a developer of quarterbacks. And Kellen Mond ended up getting drafted, but Kellen Mond might have been above average. I don't think he was really a top 10 college quarterback. I'm surprised he got drafted as high as he did.
I agree with that.
So I thought it was like a 5th, 6th round kind of, but a lot of people compared him to Dak Prescott. That's probably why he got drafted where he did.
I can see the comparison.
Right. Still wasn't the gamer
Dak didn't have that talent that Mon had around him.
No, Dak. I don't think Dak played with a single NFL player.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that Mississippi State squad on offense had anybody, but I don't know, man. I think you're supposed to be a developer of quarterback. There you go. Developer of quarterbacks, and other than Mond, who wasn't your recruit, who you got coming through the pipeline. And you can say that Hayes King got hurt, but this guy Spalzada is supposed to be, or Salzada, whatever his name is, pretty sure he's a Jimbo recruit too, right?
Right.
So he's sitting there waiting like, Jimbo, you got to show, if you're going to make your money where you know you're supposed to make it.
Or you're supposed to.
Yeah, right.
Because if you remember, his first years at Florida, this is pre-Jameis. He was getting the most out of Ponder, got Ponder first round type of guy. Talent-wise, Ponder wasn't, never a first-round caliber guy, but they figured out some way to fool the NFL and get him into the first round. He did the same thing with EJ, who had all the measurables, but who else did? That was really those are really the two guys.
He had Sean McGuire looking competent when he stepped in for
he did.
And that was a kid who, I remember the story on him. He was like a wing T quarterback in high school. Jimbo got him because he had a big arm and said, I'm going to just coach him for 4 years. And he came in and did what he was supposed to do as a guy who's coached for 4 years. So you'd assume that Jimbo has a guy, and he's been recruiting top-tier quarterbacks. That's what's weird to me. The running back, cool. Jimbo seems to always keep a running back, right? I think we could all agree on that. But the quarterback position, man, you got – what they do against Colorado? They won the game 10-7.
They won it, yeah, but if Colorado had any kind of real Colorado was starting a true freshman at quarterback. If they had an experienced guy behind there, they probably won that game.
Right. And a serious talent deficit, right? Like serious talent deficit. And they hung in there at that neutral site game with Colorado. So yeah, that was a weird one, man. I don't know. I would say quarterback. I can't think of a defender. I don't know why they hyped the defense up, but I can't think of a corner, a safety, a backer for them. The defensive lineman, he's got a high draft grade, but I don't know who they got over there. I just don't. I really, really don't on a national scale know who they got over there. So he's got to get it together, man. He's got to get it together. Better recruit. I like Jimbo as a play caller, bro.
I do too. Really do. I've always said that.
I love him as a play caller.
I do too. I do think he's a hell of a recruiter too.
He was a monster on the trail.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I talked enough about Jimbo. I do want to keep it in the SEC because I want to talk about another former Florida State coach. What you think about Kentucky, man? Top 16, undefeated. Mark Stoops doing his thing. Hey, I've been telling people on my channel I wanted Mark, man. But everybody's like, "Oh, Mark ain't doing nothing." I'm like, bro, it's Kentucky. He's maximizing everything you could possibly maximize at Kentucky right now. He sent
a first-round linebacker last year. He sent a second-round corner last year. He's gonna send probably two first or second-round offensive linemen this year.
I'm about to say they're like the best offensive line in college football this year.
They got a killer unit up front.
I mean, I know Alabama has something to say about that, but still.
Yeah, Kentucky.
For Kentucky.
Listen, I'll say this. Kentucky, the way they beat Florida, just like the nature that they like, what I'm saying, the style of play of that game. I think whenever they play Georgia, because that's who they have to play now to get out the East, right?
Yeah, that's who they got to be.
That's going to be a good football game, bro. That's going to be a real physical football game, bro. That
D line against that O line is going to be great to watch.
I couldn't disagree more, man. Agree more, excuse me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Island Boy, here's the problem with what you're saying. Maybe they won't be at the end, but the fact that we're even talking about Kentucky right now.
Right.
It's Kentucky, bro.
Right.
What Mark Stoops has done in Kentucky is, bruh, again, I tell you, we give a lot of credit to Pruitt. Mark Stoops built the defense that won that natty. All those players were Mark Stoops, with the exception of Jalen Ramsey. That was the only guy Pruitt brought in.
Right.
And he was a true freshman. I'm not saying Jalen wasn't important, but come on, Telvin Smith, Mario Edwards, Eddie, like, oh man, we just go down the list of guys, man. Those are Mark Stoops guys. Timmy Jernigan. So,
Remember, Adrian, remember when the Willie thing unfolded, because we was going back in the group chat.
Yeah.
And they was over there like, oh, Jurgen, you trying to hire FSU next coach? I'm like, nah, it's interesting, the cycle. But you got Mark Stoops sitting there. I was like, man, I'd be beating down the door. He's at Kentucky, making Kentucky look competitive. Kentucky, a basketball school in a state where they don't play football. You know what I'm saying? He's really got them boys looking decent out there, man. He really does. They just they got
the sad part is he's not going to be at Kentucky much longer.
Oh.
And FSU dropped the ball there.
Yeah.
Mark Stoops you're just not going to have the opportunity to hire him again. Mm-hmm. Crazy thing, he had 2 opportunities to try to go out and get this guy. Now, I heard the second time around, I think it was the second time around more so than the first. Yeah, the second time around. Because the first, they kind of they keyed in on Willie early, and that's who they wanted for, reasons. But that second time around, they kind of dropped the ball there from what I heard.
Could you can't blame them though, in hindsight, for wanting Willie Taggart. You can't blame him.
No, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they had a guy in mind and went out and got him. Didn't waste. Yeah. They wanted him. They got him. We did something very similar to what A&M did. If you want to be honest with you, we identified a guy, and we went and got him. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for us, it just didn't work. Mm-hmm. Stoops confirmed contact with USC. That would be. I don't think that works. Yeah, I don't think that works. I like Mark. I don't think USC works. Thank you. I don't think USC works with Mark Stoops.
No, man.
He's not like his brother. He's not like Bob.
Right.
He's a lot, obviously defense oriented. I don't know. Stoops just says South to me.
If we were going to talk about Stoops,
I think Bob Stoops would fit in at USC way more than his
he
brother.
Can handle the big show.
Yeah, I think Bob
can handle that stage.
Bob would make more sense.
That, you know what, man, much to the detriment of the USC program, and to an extent Miami, you got to be able to win over those people, man. And I would say with Stoops, Mark Stoops, are you gonna walk into a room in Miami and charm everybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna walk down into the city and everybody be like, yo, I mess with that guy. You gotta have the right personality, huh?
Would you want Mark?
Absolutely.
Because I know all the talking points from Miami are Kiffin and Mario.
Look, Mario.
I've always told you Mario was going to be a tough one to get.
Yeah, I mean, Mario would be my guy, but I'm an O-line guy, and that's what he does, and we haven't had that in 100 years, But next up would probably be Stoops, Kiffin.
I'm here. Have you seen?
I like
Urban Meyer. A lot of Miami fans are talking Urban.
Urban wouldn't make it, dog. I like Urban would. What you would need to get Urban, first of all, isn't he on $10 million in Jacksonville?
Jacksonville's probably paying him, whatever.
Like, come on, bro. We can never. I don't care what nobody says. Nobody wants to foot that bill for a dude that's that unstable right now. Okay. Concept-based defense. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm not going to say that. Adrian, can we dive into that later? Because I feel like that took us.
I'm just putting up. You Miami guy, Maiden Dade's diehard Miami fan too, so I just put it up there. But we can definitely wait a minute.
Yeah, man, that's a lot, man. That's funny. Who was it earlier, man? Talk about Jordan Davis, man. My guy, Jordan Davis, that big nose tackle from Georgia. Dan Squash brought him up. He said over under for Jordan Davis at the combine 4.8. He might break 4.8. I don't know if you've seen that big boy run, dog. That sucker. You seen him? The big nose tackle for Georgia, 99. He might break that, dog. Isn't that what Poe ran? Terry Poe?
Yeah, Poe ran like a 4.8 or something like that, and he was like 350.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he could crack that, man. But anyway, Adrian, I told y'all, man, when y'all had the chance to go to Stoops, bro, that would have been, if it was me, that would have been my guy.
You're right.
That would have been
I wanted Franklin first.
Mm-hmm.
But
mm-hmm.
I know who I didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the guy we got. But that's okay. I've been giving Mike. I tried to give Mike a chance, but I wanted Franklin.
Yeah. All right. So they
I'm giving Stoops too much credit. Joyner and the 3-4 of that class committed to Fisher and FSU before Stoops came on board.
Who developed him though?
Who coached him?
Who developed him, bro? That's what matters. That's what matters. I don't think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Who's the last, other than that group he had at FSU, and he like you?
Now I would have now where I want to correct DF because I don't know for certain, and I don't know the year that Stoops was brought on. But Jimbo's only defensive coordinators before Pruitt was Stoops. We went from Bobby and Mickey to Jimbo and Stoops. Now, I don't know what year Joyner committed, but I'm almost positive it was post Bobby Bowden. So that means he actually committed to Mark Stoops.
Adrian, you're actually right. You're absolutely right. Because Jimbo took it in 2010, right?
I think 09 was 09 West Virginia bowl game. That was Bobby's last game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he had Stoops 10, 11.
And he had Stoops from the jump. So who the hell did those guys that you're talking about commit to then? DF?
But Adrian, even better question. If you take Alabama out of it, because wasn't Pruitt at Alabama for like a year?
Yeah, Pruitt was like their DB coach for like a year or so.
Pruitt went FSU Georgia?
No. Yeah.
Georgia?
He went FSU Georgia, and then Tennessee gave him a head coach job.
So if
did he go back to Alabama and be a DC? Man, I'm not too sure about honestly I'm not too sure about Pruitt's track record after he left here.
No, look, so he's at Florida State for 1 year, the Natty year, right? And again, I say that even though it's much to my chagrin, I'll say this: Jameis Winston and that blue chip roster destroyed everybody, right? So I don't know how much credit we're giving Pruitt for that defense, right?
They committed
the class. Wait, hold on, Elo. He goes to Georgia for 2 years. What did Pruitt do at Georgia? Real talk. What did Pruitt do at Georgia? He didn't replicate what he did at Florida State, right? He had the talent, right?
Yeah.
At Florida State, he goes to Alabama, and Alabama's Alabama.
Yeah, right? They plug coaches in just like they plug players in over there.
And he also went to Alabama when they became an offensive program, not when they were just that hard-nosed, we're going to allow 3 points a game type defense, it felt like, right? And then he goes to Tennessee, and he recruited well, but what did he do at Tennessee? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
So the player development, if you look at Stoops again, working with
that's all I'm saying. If we Pruitt walked into a ready-made defense. And I always talk about that 2012 defense is probably better than the national championship defense. That 2012 defense had Bjorn Warner and Tate Carradine and Vince Williams and Xavier Rhodes. Like, I always talk about that. Nope. More Mark Stoop guys. But, of course they committed to Fish. You always commit to the head coach. But it's like, bruh, you got to give Mark Stoops his credit.
If he came in to coach him, he coached him. I don't care how you got him there.
Yeah, you got to give Mark his credit there.
And honestly, to his credit, Mark Stoops gets a lot of good commits. They just don't stick because it's freaking Kentucky. He always has a blue chipper coming committed to Kentucky that doesn't make it. And it's because it's Kentucky. It's because it's Kentucky.
Now, do you want to – Hurricane fans are they're kind of mad. I see them in the chat.
Yeah.
Diaz equals clown show.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Manny now is
what's up, Zoe?
I guess the post-game comments and stuff, like I'm all for politics. So, and again, this is about the type of city you're in, right? Miami's not a city to play politics in with its football fans, right? Especially at the college level, right? You don't come in and you don't give coach speak to Miami football fans, right? We'd rather say, listen, we sucked ass for the last 3 weeks and we're committed to fixing it and just end the conversation there, right? But he goes on to his metaphors and trying to spin it and stuff like that. Like, bro, that doesn't fit who we're supposed to be. I think that's why a lot of people losing faith in him is mostly because of that. You know what I mean? Because if you look at, now mind you, we play, who's the UNC on the 16th, right?
Yeah, that's next weekend. Y'all got to buy this weekend, and then y'all got UNC.
Right, and y'all play them tomorrow.
Play them tomorrow, yeah.
But I mean, we know Manny's not necessarily good at preparing off of bye weeks, whatever, right? But if you look at the Virginia game, the microcosm that it was, you saw all of our problems, right? But you also saw, probably for the first time that I can remember, they didn't look like they folded, right? And we've seen this team fold consistently in any type of competition phase. If we weren't blowing somebody out, we were folding on the spot, right? So that's the only thing I can say objectively looking at it. But the reality is you do have to question, can Manny Diaz really lead a program from a preparation standpoint to get ready to take it to that next level? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like he prepares well for games at all. At all.
Y'all are 2-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
How hot is his seat? Do you think he's done? Do you think he's done?
It's burning because the meeting.
Do you think he's done though?
Adrian, you have to watch the UNC game, because if UNC looks like a shit show, I'm pretty sure he's done. But I also think they're always going to hold on to that glimmer of hope mentality for some reason, especially with Blake James out there, you know. But we can talk about Manny all we want. The guy's name I just mentioned, that's really the big problem, right? Mm-hmm. If James don't get out of there, it don't matter who we hire as a head coach, because we're never going to get the right guy messing with Blake James. It's just not going to happen, right?
Right.
Just not going to happen. So and I'll tell you this, admittedly, as a Miami fan, I went back to when we had Butch Davis, right? So Butch Davis was the last guy that we hired from an outside source that had what I would call legitimate championship caliber experience under his resume, right? He coached at the Cowboys under Jimmy Johnson, comes to Miami, starts to turn things around, right? And leaves a gold mine for Larry Coker, right? Mm-hmm. Larry Coker's an in-house hire. Who comes after Coker? Randy Shannon's an in-house hire. Mm-hmm. We get Al Golden, who comes from freaking Temple in the MAC, didn't know how to play with Florida kids, right? Then after we get Golden, we get gifted. Mark Richt was really a gift. Right? It was really a gift. But we get Mark Richt, and then we hire from within again with Manny Diaz. The point is, all these guys had no real Power 5 or NFL coaching experience. None of them. And I think that's the big difference in all those hires. Richt had the best season out of all of them. He's the only dude that's coached big-time college football before, right? You got to vet out the process a little bit better is the whole point at Miami, man. So until you get rid of Blake James and get a guy who's qualified to go out there and find you a coach, you know what I'm saying?
Do you believe what Jose's talking about right here?
No, I don't.
Do you think Manny's lost his team?
No, I don't. Basically, what are you going to say, because they fought in practice?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I'm asking him. What do you mean?
Y'all are the Miami fans. I'm just asking.
What do you mean? I say this. I think the biggest disappointment for me is that Jake Garcia got hurt, because I'm really confident.
Jose, I don't believe that for 1 second. Yeah. Look, I watch my team every week, and I know Miami ain't nothing to write home about.
Right.
But I don't believe that.
Right.
Florida State hasn't given me a reason to believe at all. We just went to death with Syracuse in a game that, if you go watch that game, should have won by, 17 at least. With a way better team than Syracuse, more talented, and we can't get out of our own way. What happens when you play? What happens when you play a team with equal or more talent than you? Probably end up losing that game.
Right. Yeah, Adrian, I don't know, man. I don't. I'll say this. I was very, like, if you would ask me week 1, I was like, man, we got it, but it's like anything can happen right now, man. I don't know. It just depends on what team shows up. But for somebody to say that Manny's lost the locker room, if he lost the locker room, then they would have quit, right? They would have flat out quit. What were we down to Virginia? It was like 16-3 or something like that. We're down to Virginia. If he lost the locker room, then boys would have folded on him. They didn't do that. Mm-hmm. They didn't do that. He's just probably not like, some dudes are meant to be coordinators, bro. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes are meant to be coordinators forever. Not everybody's meant to go, hey, be the head coach at the University of Miami, you know?
Nothing will change until the administration starts caring.
You see their fundraising though. I don't know if you saw that, Adrian. The president got on the video to all of the season ticket holders and donors and asking them to donate money to the university. Right.
I heard something about ex-Miami players getting together and not necessarily wanting it to call any shots, but putting money together if the university was willing to only give it to the football program. Something of that nature. I don't know how true that was, and I'm probably not saying it verbatim, but I heard something of that nature.
I know all them boys are down there. I know that. I know all them boys are down there, been down there for weeks, kind of circling around campus like some vultures. You know what I'm saying? They're ready to go. They're ready to go. I'll tell you what, man. I think you would agree with this, Adrian, because you're kind of dealing with the same thing. It's one thing to lose a football game, right? But if you're flat out more talented than your opponent at every position, right? I think at Virginia, the only person that you would look at in practice and be like, "Oh, that guy played for us on our roster," might have been the 99 kid. He's a damn good football.
Man, they use that dude every they put him at tailback, tight end, receive. They use that. I think last year didn't he play quarterback against y'all?
Mm-hmm.
They put that dude everywhere.
That's the only dude I think that could really, you know what I'm saying, actually play at
Dude's
Miami.
Built like a DN, but plays offense. Like
he can move. He can move. But that's the only dude I can think of. So you can't be that much more talented than your opponent and come out flat like we did. Now, again, you're starting Van Dyke, and I think I told you this. I don't think Van Dyke is anywhere near as good as Jake Garcia is. I don't think it's close.
A lot of Miami fans keep saying that.
He's going to run the plays. He's going to make the read. He's going to get rid of the ball, right? Jake Garcia is a playmaker from the pocket, you know? So I do think if Garcia was there, we might be talking a different game, but Lashley took too long to get Van Dyke warmed up, you know? Way too long. Way too long.
What do you think?
Go ahead.
What do you think? DF says you sound heartbroken. It's gonna be all right. Let's meet at Wingfields and get a burger.
All this talking, I don't even know if Wingfields is a real place at this point. DF,
they've been trying to meet up with DF. You and Terrence been trying to meet up with DF for feels like 4 months now.
Mm-hmm. I was in his neighborhood the other day. I don't even know what a Wingfields is, bro. You know.
Damn, I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, okay. What do you think about Enos? And what he's got doing over there in Maryland? I think Maryland has like a top 10, top 15, top 20 offense. Is that Loxley or is that Enos?
So here's the problem. And this is where it comes down to a program thing, right? I think Coach Loxley, even though I think Maryland is trash, let's be very clear. Because I don't care how bad we are, we're not getting beat by Iowa like that. Fuck that. They got stomped. I don't care what they're rating. Iowa. Yeah, weren't they just like 14-10 against Colorado State or something? Like, are you kidding me right now? You know, and then beat them boys by like 30 points.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it, Adrian, but I will say that, you know, Enos probably needed some time, right? And Manny needed to find a scapegoat for the offense's performances, and there goes your offensive coordinator. But if you're going to do that with Enos, you got to do the same thing with Lashley, right? You got to hold him accountable too. But I think if Lashley's held accountable this time, then Manny's out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't keep blaming or you can't. You just hired one. You fired one after 1 year, and then after 2 years, you're going to hold Lashley accountable. At some point, you're right. Mm-hmm. If it's that point, then the head coach has to take the brunt of that one.
It'd be different if we're talking about Diaz with a number 3 defense in the country, and you know Alabama only put up 28 points.
Why can't y'all stop the run?
I think it's the nature of the scheme. To be honest with you, we've always had a problem with it. I
want to get your take on something because I was listening to another live stream the other day, and I actually made a comment on it. But someone asked a question, and I didn't quite like the question, and I didn't mean any disrespect. But someone asked, "What's the best defensive scheme to run?" And I answered, "There is no best defensive scheme to run." Basically, my answer in a nutshell was scheme to what your players can do.
Absolutely right.
So what I wanted to bring up to you and kind of get your thoughts on it is that same question. Is there a preferred defensive scheme? Or, to me, I've seen 3-4s be number one defenses in the country. I've seen a 4-3. I've seen a 4, it doesn't matter. Now, what I didn't get a chance to kind of break down in that comment is there are schemes within the scheme. So, for instance, your base scheme could be 4-3. But now what kind of 4-3 are you running? Are you running on the back end? Are you more man-oriented? Or are you more cover-oriented, right? So I guess that's my question is like, what do you think? Is there a preferred scheme? And if so, what should Miami be running? Or if the scheme doesn't quite matter, you scheme to what your players can do. Based on the players that Miami have, what should you guys be running?
If there is a preferred scheme in football today, I would base it out of an odd front, to be honest. I would base it out of some kind of odd front, some kind of flexible defense. I'd require a nose tackle, right? I think that's one thing that's missing from the college game. We brought up that kid Jordan Davis. He was a 3-star recruit, but he's 6'6", 330 pounds that he could run. He's going to eat up 2 gaps every single time.
3-star.
He's not a sexy prospect at all, right? But he's there to eat gaps. But yeah, I'd probably base it out of an odd front and give a multiple look. But if you're talking about Miami, I don't think the scheme is really the problem, right? For whatever reason, over the last 3 years, we've been void of competent linebackers. Not 3 years, 2 years. We've been void of competent linebackers. I think this year, on top of that, they mentioned Sam Brooks. Sam Brooks, I was hoping he'd be a starter this year, but he was hurt, whatever.
Somebody mentioned him too. Apparently after that game, he threw up a peace sign or something on Twitter or something.
It is what it is. It was the second game back, and he probably thought he was going to get more reps or whatever. But I think for Miami, you're geared to run a 42, right? You're geared to run a 5 safety set with the rolling free and rolling strong safety. And, of course, a rover position, which everybody would call, the second safety in the 4-2-5. Or a lot of people would call the second safety in the 4-2-5, whatever, right? We call it striker. But the point is that if you're at Miami, you have a bunch of single gap talent. Miami just doesn't have a nose, right? And even if we had a nose, do we have a backer that can play behind the nose right now? I don't think so. I really don't. I think Flagg is a pretty good football player, but you basically need 2 middle linebackers to run that scheme, and we don't have 2 of them. And that's the biggest problem. And then Bubba Bolden, in my opinion, has been playing out of position all year. He's not a free safety. He's a box safety. I always thought that about Bubba. He should never be single high. That explains some of our problems. Avonte, with his situation, kind of screwed us over because it would have been Avonte plus Bubba.
He's back soon, isn't he?
He's back after UNC.
Okay.
After UNC. And that's what I'm hoping, man. I'm really hoping, not for the sake of Manny Diaz. I don't care what happens to him, right? But I want to see at least all his chips play out. Let me put it that way, right? I would love to see him have the quarterbacks that he recruited, the safeties he recruited, all that stuff to piece that together to really see if it works. That's what I would want to see. You know what I'm saying? Give him a chance to see that on the field. I just think depending on what happens at UNC, you might not get that chance. But yeah, I'd stay with the 42 single gap as is. That's like what Gary Patterson at TCU when they're in their heyday. That's the type of 42 they were running. Single gap, getting after the quarterback, creating pressure from angles, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Bad. Hey, okay, Jose.
Bro, that is, you're seeing it, right? By the way, that's a Miami fan. Just to be clear, that ain't a Florida State fan, right? But so I get the same energy from Florida State fans, So it's just.
Let me ask you this, Adrian. Right?
It's the nature.
Are you having a bad recruiting year where your number one tight end prospect chooses Alabama over you?
Let's talk about Skinner, because Skinner was debating between Florida State, Miami, Texas, Bama, and I think there was one other team in there, but those were really the Florida. Okay, let's talk about Skinner, because I had to deal with this earlier today.
Right.
had FSU fans on Twitter losing their damn mind. We knew a month ago. We knew after, I believe it was the Notre Dame game, that Skinner was no longer really in the mix. Now there's
can I do you one better?
Conflicting stories. Yeah, go ahead.
I knew Skinner. Maybe, and I'm not even joking. Towards the end of the summer, everything I heard was Skinner was down to Miami, and then if Bama opened a spot for him, that was apparently the holdup with his recruitment. Mm-hmm. He wasn't always a Bama take, and that's coming from a Miami.
No, I agree. Yep.
So that was the holdup, and that's why he took them visits, right? But when he shows up to Virginia. He was at our last game versus Virginia, right? That lets me know, at least in my mind, if you follow visits, that's where I felt we stood with him. I didn't think Texas had a real chance, just being honest. Never saw him getting out the South. Coach Field and him had a really good relationship, right? But again, whether or not we look bad on the field, who is going to be mad? And this is you as an FSU fan. You guys are going through it right now, just like we're going through it. Are you going to be mad that a kid flips to Georgia or Alabama right now? You know what I'm saying?
We got an old lineman, Ba, who they're predicting is going to flip to Georgia like soon. But I told people, I don't know, a month or two ago that's probably one of the first flips or decommits you'll see is Ba to Georgia.
Right.
So it kills me that we get here and people act like this stuff is like this major breaking news, like a shocking thing.
Right.
As far I can't speak for Miami. But damn it, you can't go 1-4 and think you're landing a Jaleel Skinner.
It's fake,
or an Elijah Pritchett. Like,
y'all,
it's not gonna happen.
And I'll be very honest with you. As much as you want a Jaleel Skinner on your team, which I absolutely do, absolutely do, right? The things in football that are gonna matter at the end of the day are shoring up the positions of high value, right? So if you're a Miami fan right now, you should really care. If you care about anybody, Shamar Stewart, the Anderson kid out of Homestead, you guys, Adrian, you guys should really care about Lions down there out of Homestead. You know, those are the positions that I'd really, really be focused on if I'm talking about building a roster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Jaleel Skinner, phenomenal talent, man. I wish he was playing next year with Jakari Brown and all these guys, man. But it's like, yo, like, there's definitely bigger fish to fry at Miami in terms of recruiting, right? And again, you're losing that recruit to Alabama. You're not losing that kid to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to UCF over Miami. He's going to play you see him, Adrian, with Bryce Young and freaking, you know what I mean? All of these other crazy blue chippers that they got on offense. So I it's disappointing that our play affected it, but again, bro, it's the nature of recruiting right now. Like, what are you supposed to do? You know?
Yeah.
So he might be a receiver at Bama when it's all said and done, to be real with you.
I mean, that's how we were recruiting him.
He might
we told him he wanted to play receiver, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a report that Skinner might have got like drunk at Notre Dame or something like that. Like legit report that he was wilding out at the Notre Dame game. And he turned some. Here's my problem with that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Matter of fact, I'm almost positive that did happen. Mm-hmm. But if Saban thinks he's good enough to keep, who the hell is Mike to say, oh, we not? Because that was kind of the report that came out from FSU beat writers was, oh, after that, the Florida State pulled his scholarship or they pulled his offer. He was no longer a take. Get the hell out of here. If Saban thinks he's a take, damn it, Mike Norvell better think he's a take. Now, what happened. That might have been a conversation you could have had with the young man. Like, yo, we don't appreciate how you were acting. But at a certain point, man, hey, got to take a gamble on some of these bad character kids. Because if you go back and look at some of our prior successful teams, they were full of bad character. Like, and I'm not calling Jaleel Skinner a bad character kid.
Right. If that's the story that you're giving me.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, that whole he wasn't a take thing, I think that was just a cover up, bro.
Man, let's be real with ourselves. You know, like there's nobody here that doesn't want Jaleel Skinner in camp. You know what I'm saying? Come April or whenever camp is. You know what I mean? That's crazy talk, man. I hate when people do that on Twitter and stuff, bro. Just, hey, we didn't get him. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Just move on, bro. You know? Let's move on. Mike probably can't handle. I mean,
it's not. You know what? It's not that Saban can. It's that Skinner can go to Alabama and act up if he wants to. There's 3 other tight ends, probably 5 stars right behind him, if not in front of him. Skinner, if you go to Bama and act up, you get lost in the sauce. That's why Bama can take the guys that they can take. You're either going to get with the program, or you'll be in JUCO in the next couple of years.
For sure. Hey, real quick, because these there's a couple of things that these guys said over here. Maiden Day, Shamar ain't coming here. I mean, if we keep on playing that way, yeah. But my point wasn't that we have an in with Shamar. That was never my point. My point is that if I'm worried about recruitment like big time at Miami, Shamar, Wesley.
You're saying there's a priority. There's some priorities.
Nice. Bingo. You every time you hear somebody talk about Miami, what is the first positions that you think about? You think about the defensive line, you think about the linebackers, you think about the safety positions. That's historically what we're supposed to do well. Shamar fits the mold. Anthony Lucas fits the mold. I think Coach Field is out watching. Is it Field? Coach Simpson is out watching Anthony Lucas tonight out there in Arizona, right? Those are the guys that you like, bro.
Isn't Lucas like a legacy kid?
His dad went to Miami, but I don't think he played.
He didn't play though.
Yeah, Lucas is also probably, I mean, without a doubt in my mind, the wingspan that kid has, the body type he's gonna.
Yeah, no, he's a good prospect.
Star, bro. He's gonna be a star, bro.
He's a good prospect.
Yeah, he's got that body type, man. Kilo, I thought that. I think it was when we lost Rick. I thought it was gonna be. I thought Zoe was gonna come through. I really thought Zoe was gonna come through, and then that was a story. But whatever happened, man. It was really disappointing that Zoe never made it on the staff of Miami. It would have been really good. Zoe, Alonzo Highsmith, Adrian, was with the Cleveland Browns when they were going through their rebuild. So he's former Miami player, NFL experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm tracking Alonzo. Remember, you might not remember, but I was telling y'all to hire him for chief of staff when y'all ended up hiring Ed Reed. I thought Zoe would have been a great, just a great addition to the program in general.
How much you want to bet that he wasn't hired because of Blake James? Like how much you want to bet that Blake James probably didn't want that potential, his replacement being in the building, right? Because there's talk, man. I forget where I heard it years ago. Blake don't even really like Cristobal like that, like personally. You know what I'm saying? So
you're gonna let your personal feelings get in the way of winning football games. Yeah, you won't be too successful.
Right. Hey, give me 1 second. I'll be right back, bro.
Yeah. Gino for AD, Zoe for the director of football. Do y'all have a director of football? Because what I'm hearing from a lot of Miami fans is like, y'all want like a complete restructure of the program. And I guess I'm asking, y'all haven't changed that in 20 some odd years. Why is this year the year that Miami's gonna pull it all aside? And because Kilo says Coach Hayes show. I saw Coach Hayes was live last night, and I know he had a panel of guys on there, and Highsmith was one of them. And he says he wants to. Of course, he wants to be there, but how do I say this without any disrespect? Like the fact that he's on Coach Hayes' channel, talking about that says that he's really not being considered. Because if he was, he would be talking to the institution. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't mean that in any disrespectful way to the channel, to Coach Hayes at all. I've called him my favorite Miami YouTuber, just to be real. But the fact that he's on that show saying that he wants to be there tells me that the institution, the university, ain't even really considering him. Hey, man, how many times I got to put these on? Now go. You feel what I'm saying? Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, But he's on the show claiming or proclaiming his want to be at part of it. You feel me? This, it may say it's not true, and that's fine. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Again, this is me on the outside looking in, so I don't have any. But he didn't say he wants to be the AD POLK. No, I'm not saying that he said he wanted to be the AD. I'm saying that he wants to be there. You get what I'm saying? Kilo said he wants to be there. Not necessarily whether it's the AD, but he wants to be a part of the program. That I agree with, that he definitely wants to be a part of it. Where I'm saying that I don't think Miami seriously is considering him to be any part of it is because he's on Coach Hayes' show proclaiming that he wants to be a part of the program. If they wanted him, he'd be there. And he's down in, or at least he was, I don't know if he still is, but I know he was down in Miami over the entire week. I think longer than a week he's been down there. They shouldn't take all that to say, hey, athletic director or whoever, university president, this guy, bring him on. And I'm just, that's just me speaking again. And FSU is in I wish we could fire Corbin tomorrow, personally. It's not going to happen. And I would say the one thing in common with both programs is that it is a rotting fish, and a fish rots from the head down. And until we fix our athletic director situation, and Miami's in the same boat, I think FSU and Miami are in very similar circumstances when you talk about how the programs are being run.
And the DF say y'all need your own Nevin Shapiro. That's kind of funny.
DF is a trip.
Come ruin the program real quick.
He has been here and back from Seattle for 2 weeks. Okay. Even if he said, talking about Highsmith.
Gotcha.
Even if he said or didn't say he wanted to be there, what he's saying, if Miami was seriously considering. So I don't know if you heard what I was saying.
Go ahead.
Because I don't know. Did you ever check out that channel I told you to check out, Coach Hayes?
Mm-hmm.
But so he had Alonzo Highsmith on his show.
Oh, he did?
And Alonzo,
I didn't see it today.
It was last night, I believe. And he was proclaiming his want to be a part of the program.
Sure.
And my rebuttal, or I don't know if you call it my rebuttal, but my explanation of that was, and again, no disrespect to Coach Hayes' channel, but if Miami was seriously considering Coach Hayes, he wouldn't be on Coach Hayes, not Coach Hayes. If they were seriously consider Highsmith, he wouldn't be on Coach Hayes' channel proclaiming his want to be there.
Right.
I don't know if you agree with that or not. You feel me? So
I don't know. You try to garner support from wherever you can, but yeah, he probably have his mouth. Yeah, he probably have his mouth shut right now, wouldn't he?
I don't know. I just think there'd be more serious conversations between the two that he wouldn't, do that. But again, that's just me on the outside looking at it.
But you know what the problem is, though?
That's kind of what we were just talking about while you were gone.
Isn't Highsmith the dude? He's on the famous video when we're at the coin toss and he says something like, "I don't care, bitch," or something like that. That's the guy. Like, that's the image. You know what I'm saying? He's from Bad Boy Miami. And this guy Julio Frank really don't care about football that much. Mm-hmm. You're gonna let Bad Boy Miami come in here and run your program. That might be to his detriment. Whatever you want to call that, whether you call it, nepotism or I don't want to use the R word, but you know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's what it is. He's scared of the university's image with a guy like that. But man, he's got the experience. He has legitimate
I remember, I feel like it was under Al Golden. You can correct me. I remember Miami publicly coming out and saying they wanted to get away from that old image.
Yeah, under Golden.
Was it Golden? It was because I remember them saying that.
Yeah. But Miami, and this is, here's the thing I don't understand, I guess. First off, I understand this part. Miami, what city it's in, right? The population. That's not a football population, right? The Latino community, that's a Latino university, and they're uppity. They're private. You know what I'm saying? A lot of big money flows through there, but they don't mess with those guys that live out there, Opalaka, et cetera, right? But my big thing is, for a university that doesn't have a ton of athletic revenue, football is your best bet at getting it. I don't care who's on the football team. Yeah. Just keep the football team afloat and keep us out of trouble and help us win games, because you could bring in $100 million easy if you wanted to, right? It just seems like the university, again, to your point, Adrian, doesn't want to be viewed.
How likely is it? Because Maiden Dade's talking about it, and a lot of Miami people are talking about it. How likely is it that in 1 year you do a complete athletic director fire and head coaching fire, which would essentially mean you're bringing the entire whole football staff, because the new coach is going to bring in his own staff anyway. So how likely is it that you basically get a complete athletic department retool after this year? How likely is that? I know that's what y'all want, but how likely is that?
Let's say 20%, but even giving it that 20%, let's really add. Let's see what we're talking about here, right? What is Blake James doing well at Miami? Like, is Miami?
I remember you mentioned that.
Like, is Miami baseball the best in the country? Like it was.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Or top 5 type program? It's not. Miami basketball is falling off big time. Remember, Miami was getting, who was it? Shane Larkin? Wasn't it the Shane Larkin squad that Miami had that was making noise in the NCAA tournament? Was that 9 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Larkin, yeah.
He was a Knick. Wasn't he a Knick for a little bit?
I think he was a Maverick.
He was. I know he was a Maverick for sure.
He might have been a Knick for a little bit, but he didn't do much for us.
Right. So you're looking at a guy who really isn't good at anything. You know, so could you see a complete overhaul? Yeah, but I also say this. Who's the coach that you're going to promise me, Highsmith? You know what I'm saying? Who's the coach that you're going to promise me? Somebody put Toretta. Who are you going to promise me that's going to come in here and really make waves in Miami, right? And we talked about it. It's going to be – Cristobal is going to be a hard get. They just signed him to an extension, right? Kiffin, not so hard of a get, but is Kiffin really the guy? Now, and I think we had this talk however long ago. It was probably when we were looking for coaches, right? I didn't think it would be Kiffin. I don't even think I really wanted Kiffin at the time. He might be the only guy personality-wise that can come in Miami and just kind of be edgy and, you know what I'm saying? Football-oriented, edgy, and like, yeah, we're going to score points. We don't care who's on the other side of the field, right? But other than that, like, what are you going to get me, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to get an NFL coach in here with some real experience, like O'Brien or one of these guys? I don't know, man.
Let's shout out to Hurricane Kilo, man. Hey, look.
Big time.
I'm looking at, like he said, right now, currently, we sitting at 16 likes. Check this out, guys. No, 19 likes. Okay, we got, even then, I got 36 people, 19 likes. Look, man, y'all are coming into my house. When you come into the house, ring the doorbell, kick the dirt off your feet. That's called hitting the like button. That's all you got to do. So hit that like button. And, I mean, we could probably talk about Miami stuff all day, but I do want to hit on Clemson because I want to understand. What do you think's going on there? Do you think it's just they missed on a 5-star, and is it something deeper? Is it?
Listen.
What do you think?
Listen. So I'll tell you from a football standpoint, just from football. Ugalele, if I was going on the recruiting trail, and I think you would agree with me, Adrian, if we were coaches, college football coaches going on the trail, and we met that kid, you'd probably make up your mind really quick. He has to be on my roster, right? Like without a doubt. So let's not. First of all, the point is, I don't want anybody to be like, "Oh man, they were stupid to go get that kid."
No, I mean,
like, are you kidding me?
He's built like remember the Virginia Tech quarterback, Logan Thomas? Was that his name?
He's bigger than him.
He's built like that kid, and that kid was a monster.
Right.
Yeah, and like you said, DJ's bigger than that dude. Like, you're right. He's on the roster. He's on the roster.
There's no way I don't say that's my quarterback of the future. And then I look at the team, though. They got a lot of stars on there. But if you look at Clemson play football, is there a playmaker on offense anywhere? I think that's a resounding no, right? I don't see one player on Clemson's offense that I looked at in these games that is like, oh, yeah, he gets loose with it. You know what I'm saying? So that guy's not there.
I think it surprises me that their O-line isn't better.
But we've talked about that. Right?
Yeah, but it's not like if you don't check it's not like they don't recruit them.
But Adrian, they've never ever
developing them
O-line staff. Yeah. They never have. They never have. It just never worked. The offense, that system, that Malzahn Morris system, right? Because that's where Morris got it from. It's supposed to take pressure off of offensive linemen, right? It's really supposed to make you look better than you are because you have a defense that's concerned with covering space and not coming downhill, you know? So now that you can't make plays on the edges, everybody's doing what they've been doing against Miami with De'Aaron King, which is something that we didn't talk about. But first and second down, everybody's stepping straight towards the line of scrimmage, right? Because you can't threaten me on the edges no more. Yeah. You just can't, right?
I do think Tony Elliott's kind of been exposed here as a guy that just had Trevor Lawrence and ETN and some other guys. Like, I was never big on him, but I know a lot of people were thinking he was the next, great offensive mind. I never believed it, and I think he's kind of got exposed here as a guy who he should be able to do more of what he's doing offensively with the talent that he has.
But the talent, though, Adrian, it doesn't. The talent is all stars. But you don't see a varying skill set, right? So like we got Brashard Smith last year, and if you ever talk to Adam, that was my favorite get in the class outside of James Williams and Leonard Taylor, and it's because it's a skill set that we haven't had. We haven't had one of those short 5'10" guys that are twitchy and can make people miss, right? We haven't had that in 5-10 years, you know. And now we finally got one, right? We're recruiting another kid out of Palmetto. He's 5'8", maybe 175. He flies down the field, though. You have to have those guys in your system. You know what I'm saying? Like every good team has one. Florida State, if you go back, who did you have? Kelvin Benjamin was the guy. You had Nick O'Leary, you had Wilder, you had Freeman. But then out of nowhere, Kermit Whitfield, just take this sweep real quick. You know what I'm saying? And that changes things for a defense, right? Clemson has none of that right now. Then on top of that, you had DeMarcus Bowman, but he went back home, right? So now you got the back Shipley. He's okay, but he don't look like, you know what I'm saying? Shipley don't look like he's a dog to me yet.
Yeah.
You know, so I just don't see where their playmaking comes from. I think that's the biggest problem. No playmakers. And then the kid, what's the tackle?
Do you think this is like a trend, though, or is just like a blip on the radar for Clemson?
I think they're in trouble. Because the offensive roster is not constructed well. And it's not constructed for what they do offensively. You get what I'm saying? Look at Chad Morris when he was at Clemson, right? And we talked about Sammy Watkins when he got drafted. You know, we've been talking about this for over a decade. But when Sammy Watkins got drafted, I thought he should have went number 4 overall. But who did I compare him to, Alo? I compared him to Terrell Owens based on his college tape. He was big. He looked like he'd be about 220. He could run after the catch, right? That's who they started with. Then you get D-Hop, who he's proven to be one of the best receivers ever in football, right? But after that, where's the talent? Where's that guy? Clemson doesn't have that guy anymore, and they definitely don't have that guy right now, man. They just don't. Man. I think they're in big trouble because you can't find that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I think he stayed as long as he needed to.
I think he had to stay.
Yeah, because ETN, frankly, if Urban doesn't take ETN where he took him, I don't know. I think ETN, would have fell even further. Probably a whole round further, quite honestly. But that's
he was a third rounder.
Shipley is a slot playing running back. And why can't guys like Ramsey, Jameis Winston, and Deion Sanders donate to the program?
Do y'all really think that Deion and these guys never did, though?
Right. What do you want them to do? Donate like $1 million a year? I'm pretty sure they have. Most of your school's boosters, big time ones, are not former football players. You're talking about guys that made it in the business field.
Hey, listen, man, y'all. The real money real money is not in football.
Right.
Let's call it what it is. Real money is not in football. Y'all can't even fill the stadium. That's always such a lame argument to me, Adrian, dog. That's lame. Not calling you lame, though, Zucci. Why is that relevant? You know what I'm saying?
I think it depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah, like what's the point? Like if you're saying, oh,
but if you're talking about like, I do think that becomes relevant when you're talking about when you bring a kid and a kid sees a stadium full and Bama's playing freaking Western Kentucky and there's still 90 people in the stands. And if we're being honest, Hard Rock isn't going to be full unless y'all are playing a big time opponent.
We're playing y'all. We're playing Florida.
So, all right, Todd, I appreciate you. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do think that kids do look at the crowds, I guess, for recruiting wise.
So, can I ask you this?
I don't know. Go ahead.
So, you're from Central Florida, right? So, even though you didn't go to Lakeland, Lakeland was the school, right? And all of Lakeland is going to split up in 3, right? And they're going to go to Lake Gibson, they're going to Kathleen, and they're going to go to to Lakeland, right? And them small towns will pack out them stadiums, right? Especially the small towns, right? You show me a stadium in Florida outside of Traz Powell, South Florida, that's packed out. South Florida doesn't have a high school football culture like that. They have a little league culture to Zoe's point. They have a big little league culture, but that's only because people gamble on little league, bro. That's nobody care about them kids, man. High school football in Florida is dispersed, bro. And my point is this: is that's not Florida's football culture, bro. You know what I'm saying? College, high school, you're not packing out stadiums with 10,000.
So I do agree to a certain degree. But my counter to that would be the Swamp is full damn near every Saturday.
And
it's considered one of the best environments in all of college football. And that's probably the nicest thing I'll ever say about that place.
But what's the difference, Adrian? Right? The difference is Gainesville, and the same thing as Tallahassee, no disrespect, right? But from a South Floridian, right? If I was to go watch
your location, okay, I got you.
Go ahead.
No, I get where you're going. I know where you're about to go with it.
It's a different region. Gainesville is the deep South, right? Tallahassee is the deep South. Jacksonville, deep South. South Florida, you have 10 high schools within 10 miles of each other, basically, fighting for fans. Nobody's packing out a stadium. That's just not what it is on Friday, dog. You know?
I get where you're going with
and
that.
Yeah,
in South Florida, it's a little different.
It's very different. To me, it is, right? Because again, I've been, even Adrian, you've been to Belglade, right? So in Belglade's heyday, before everybody moved out, that stadium couldn't hold 3,000 and there'd be 10,000 people there because there's nothing else to do in Belglade on a Friday night. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Pahokee. But you live in West Palm Beach and it's Suncoast versus Lakes or something like that. The game will pack out. It's like 3,000, right? Yeah. We go here to Texas. Somebody farts outside and says football. 10,000 people going to show up to the stadium.
No, I hear you.
It's just different, dog.
I hear you.
It's just different, man. You know, it's just the point is, yeah, you're right, Adrian. There's going to be a kid that says, you know what, I want to play.
Yeah, I just think that does play a part in recruiting.
I just think of the Miami, and that's why I think we can keep some Miami kids because, like a kid like Romello Brinson, Leonard Taylor, it's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Miami Palmetto wasn't seeing 10,000 people a game. Like, all right, I still got my scholarship, you know. Anyway, man, we're gonna get out here. Speaking of big football, Geyer High School here in Denton, where Eubanks went to, is playing Allen High School. That's where Chad Morris coaches at. So we'll be out there next Friday. If DF wants to come meet us, which he won't, but if DF wants to come
DF won't show up.
Yeah, he won't show up. He won't show up. He won't show up.
I'm in Tallahassee. They care about high. Right now, they do. I'm 100% positive. Why wouldn't you?
But Radavius, what else do y'all like? How many high schools are there? It's a real question. I've never like, you know what I'm saying, like examined Taliban. How many high schools are there really? Right? There's Leon. There's Godby. What else? FSU got a university school, right? Mm-hmm. What else? What else you got in Tallahassee? Tallahassee's not like big like that, bro. You know. Adrian, you brought up Clemson.
Yeah.
What about Cincinnati?
Cincy's interesting because I haven't checked their schedule, but I'm assuming Notre Dame was the last tough team they really had. I mean, you can check real quick.
I am. They're playing Temple right now.
But who's left?
They got UCF next week.
So again, they beat Notre Dame, and that was it.
Yeah. Okay, so SMU is currently number 24 in the country.
That'd be a good look for them.
So they got SMU the week before Thanksgiving. They got SMU. Now, right now, SMU's 24th in the country. Yeah, and they got Navy, Tulane, Houston, Memphis, UCF, and Cincinnati. So yeah, that might be, if they went out, that might be 2 top 15s.
Do you think they can make the playoff though? Look, Georgia and Bama are going to be in the playoff. That's a given. But I think the rest of those 2 spots are up for grabs.
Yeah.
Oregon just blew their shot. I'm not saying they blew it, but
they did.
Have we seen we've seen Oregon made the playoff once. Has any other Pac-12 team made the playoff since Oregon?
No. So
for them, it's always tough. I guess if Oklahoma continues to win, they'll get in. But that team looks beatable. There won't be an ACC representative this year. That's pretty apparent.
No, I think North Carolina and Clemson. I mean, we blew that.
Yeah,
we blew that.
So, yeah, I think this could be the year that a Cincinnati might be able to sneak in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think, is Oklahoma still undefeated?
Yeah, they are for now. But I feel like every game they squeak by.
Okay, so Oklahoma plays Texas tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a college game day. So,
okay, so that's interesting. That's really interesting, actually.
That's a big false. I don't know where you heard that from. I don't know what Miami live stream you listened to hear that. You think FSU needed $100 million in donations to keep athletics running? Are you serious? No, they had $100 million over the summer to help break ground on the football-only facility that's coming. That has nothing to do with keeping athletics. I mean, we believe what we want to believe.
Hey, Adrian, I'll tell you this, though. Going back to the playoff, we're talking about, what's their name schedule? Cincinnati. So all Oklahoma.
Washington made it to the playoff? Yeah,
they did. You're right. Did? Jake Browning, they got smacked. They got smacked by Alabama.
I do not remember Washington in the playoff. What year was that?
I'll bring it up. They lost 24-7. 2016. That was Jake Browning.
Oh, that's because I was in Iraq. That's why I don't remember that.
Was so. Hold on. So while we're here, if you don't mind, the stat line for that game: Jalen Hurts, 7 for 14, 57 yards. Right now,
who won that year? Who won it all that year?
I think Bama did. Oh, I'm pretty sure they did. 2017. Or no, that might have been Watson. Now, anyway, Scarborough had 180 yards rushing in that game in a 24-7 win. Hold on, 2017 Alabama Clemson. Let's see. Clemson. So that's the Deshaun Watson. Clemson win.
Okay.
Alabama won the next year versus Georgia with.
I remember watching that one. Okay, yeah,
with Tua.
That makes sense.
It was crazy. Clemson scored 21 in the fourth quarter to win that game. That's crazy. I'm scared to come back. Boy, Oak Cliff is gentrified. Boy, what you mean? Oak Cliff. I went to Oak Cliff. They got art shops and tea shops down there. What you mean, boy? Silly, man. That's funny, though.
Who do you think, though? Like, how many games were we in? 5, 6 games, somewhere around there?
5.
As of 5 games in, what do you think the playoffs looking like?
So right now, I just put up Oklahoma, right? So Oklahoma has number 21 Texas. And Oklahoma can't not blow out Texas because of what happened against Arkansas, right? Like Oklahoma's got to blow them out.
Yeah, that's crazy, yeah.
And then the next ranked game they got is Oklahoma State, which, I don't know, man. I think Cincinnati, if there was a year to do it, it's going to be now.
It's got to be this year, right?
Yeah. They'll probably be undefeated. It'll probably be Bama, Georgia.
Is Bama, Georgia just inevitable at this point?
I mean, who's Georgia going to lose to?
I agree.
Now, I'll say this, though.
They always seem to struggle with the Gators, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, the way Florida played Alabama, they might sneak them out there in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
right?
they always struggle in that game anyway.
Right. But let's say Florida, let's say Alabama and Georgia make it. Oklahoma stays undefeated. They'll get in, which I don't think they will. But let's say Oklahoma gets in, and then who else? Cincinnati?
Yeah.
I don't think you can deny undefeated Cincinnati.
Here's the problem. A one-loss Ohio State or something. I feel like a committee will put them over at Cincinnati, whether it's fair or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of that. Like they do. Look what they did with Ohio State last year. They didn't even play enough games to qualify for the playoff by the what's it called, Big Ten's own rules, and then they just put them in there anyway because you know what? It's Ohio State. We need the big name in there for ratings. They didn't qualify for their own conference championship.
No, I think there'll be some pressure from like society right now. You know what I'm saying? People have been dying for a group of 5 team. At this point, if they don't make it in, a group of 5 team can't make it in. Let's put it that way, right?
Yeah.
Because you go on the road.
Where's Luke? Where's Fickle coach next? Because you got to think this is his last year.
Somebody said Fickle right now could walk into an office and sign a blank check.
Just demand what he wants, right?
I don't believe that, but that's what somebody believes.
I mean, but this has to be his last year, though.
You know what this is, bro? And just thinking about a guy like Fickle, a guy like Mark Stoops, right? Could you really see those two guys being in a big market? Like, could you see them being at a blue collar program? I don't think you could, right? I mean, a white collar program. Excuse me. Can you see them there? Fickle, Stoops, Mark Stoops, that is. Like Campbell from Iowa State. I can't see.
Okay, let's. What job? Hey, shut up. What jobs do we even think are gonna open this year? So we know USC is the first job that's open for the year.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of another big name job, and USC, I can't really think of one right now.
USC. And I'll be very honest, and Miami fans, you may hate me for this. I think we're a top 20 job. I don't think.
Okay, well, you know what? You don't got to do all that. Let's assume Manny gets fired.
Okay.
Let's put Miami up there. So
USC,
Miami.
Big job, like noticeable jobs.
Yeah, like
LSU.
You think Ed's on his way?
Depends on how he flops. If Ed Orgeron goes 6-6 this year, he doesn't keep his job.
You think so? Okay. Let's, for the sake of this argument, let's just throw in LSU.
Let's throw in LSU. So let's say you have USC, LSU, Miami. In the Big Ten, who we got? Michigan's never gonna let go of Harbaugh, apparently.
Yeah, I don't think that's good. Is Frost out of there? Now I don't know if Nebraska's a big job, but
didn't they kill Northwestern?
Did they?
Didn't they kill Northwestern?
Did they give Frost some more time up there?
Let me take a look. Y'all want to talk about recruiting flops? Y'all can talk about Miami all you want to. Nebraska, that's the biggest recruiting flop in the history of recruiting. They couldn't keep nobody. Yeah, they beat Northwestern 56-7 for whatever that's worth.
Oh man, where'd that Nebraska come from?
And so Nebraska might be better than Miami. They lost to MSU by 3 points. So whatever it's worth. Right.
Okay, let's say Frost keeps his job.
Lost to Oklahoma by 7 points.
Yeah,
so let's keep Nebraska.
You want to keep Nebraska?
No. Like I'm saying, leave Nebraska out.
Okay, yeah, leave Nebraska out. So we still got 3 teams.
Big 12. I don't think there's any real big jobs in the Big 12 aside from OU and Texas.
Me either.
Right. What else we got?
That's really all I can think of.
Yeah,
nobody in the ACC is getting fired. Let's, for sake of argument, say Mac Brown decides to retire after this year. They won't fire him, but what is Mac? Mac's almost like 80, isn't he? He's up there. Let's say he retires after this year. So let's just put UNC out there.
If he loses to Miami, he might want to retire.
If he loses tomorrow, he might want to retire.
If he loses tomorrow, he might be 2 back-to-back to FSU right now. That's tough sledding, right?
I agree.
But let's say, okay. But then you have the carousel, right? Because you can talk about legit if USC opens up, James Franklin heads out west. I think he does. Yeah, but where's Fickle gonna go?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Out of those jobs we just named with the potentials,
Yeah, man, I don't see it, bro.
Unless something shocking was to happen, like I don't know. And I can't even think of a scenario that's would even make sense.
No, I think you're right on the head, man. Nail right on the head. T2Y be trolling y'all boys, man.
All the time. I don't pay him no attention. I don't pay T2Y no attention.
Count your days, Mike Norwood.
He should be counting his days. The hell.
Listen, bro, if that whatever the quarterback's name, I forget his name, Schrader, whatever that Syracuse quarterback's name was, fool looked like Tim Tebow.
Bro, just running all over the place, wasn't
he? He had the one run. I forget, I think I saw you on a live reaction. But he ran slap over a linebacker. I forget who the linebacker was, but I was like, dog, y'all.
That was Deloach.
We do the same thing. We do the same thing. Georgia beats Alabama. I don't think so. But
those two they're gonna play twice. They're gonna play in the SEC championship and then probably play again in the Natty.
Yeah, full disclosure, I personally don't think Georgia will ever win a national championship again. Full disclosure. Ever. I have no faith in Georgia.
It has to be. I think I said that at the beginning of this year. I said, if this is the year, it has to be this year for Georgia.
If they win, it's because they play Cincinnati in the national championship game. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust them, dog. I don't trust them, dog. I don't trust them. Yeah, they got a great defense, man. I just don't trust. They had a great defense when they lost to Alabama on a go-ahead touchdown against cover 2.
But like Zoe said, that's really it. Their offense still leaves a lot to be desired. And I do think when they match up with a team like an Alabama, they're going to have to score points. And we talk about Georgia's defense, and I think Georgia's defense is elite. But it's not like Bama's throwing out chopped liver on defense. If you can't score, I don't see how you beat Alabama.
I'll tell you what, Georgia's offense, I don't know if it's better than Ole Miss. I'll tell you that. Ole Miss got a quarterback, boy.
You believe in Iowa? Because I don't.
No.
I don't.
Listen, anytime somebody says Iowa football to me, I'm going to look the other way. Until they don't got athletes, man. They don't got athletes. I don't care how well you're coached. Like at a certain point, you're gonna get out coached or coached just as well as. And if I have better athletes than you, I'm beating you every single time. Iowa got to stick. Everybody got to stick. How good is it? You know what I'm saying?
Kane Zay said this. We only had a coach.
They were. There was a report that went out, Adrian, from somebody interviewed some NFL scouts, and it's basically saying, look, if they fire Manny because he's probably going to get fired, whoever gets that roster is sitting pretty. They all the scouts like the young kids way more than they like any of the senior guys that we have on the roster, right? Any draft eligible. So take for that what it's worth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Take for that what it's worth. Even watching the Virginia game, I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't even. I think I silenced the group for that game. Like I wasn't. I don't know if I was mad that we lost. I was mad about that damn touchdown catch. The one Buddy Clark had the interception right here.
Yeah, that's one of those where it's like, okay, we were just meant to lose.
Like, if you like, right, bro, like if you're gonna beat me, bro, like
we were just meant to lose.
You know what I'm saying? But after that, it was like, but we had that one. Kitchens drop. Kitchens had an interception basically go through his hand in the end zone. James Williams, one of the first throw of the game, a half a step late on an interception. Like, man, doing what bad teams do. They got to clean that shit up. And I don't know if Manny's the guy to clean it up, man. I really don't. They say Wilder knockout round 3, Alo. You going to give it to round 3?
Man, I think if Wilder catches him, he catches him
early.
Somewhere past the 6th round. No, I think somewhere past the 6th round.
Okay. You think Fury's going to come up basically like this the whole fight? You think that's Fury?
I think he's going to try something similar to what he did the last fight.
Okay.
I'm excited for it, though. I mean, main day, you know who I got. But, hey, I'm ready. Real Talk says, do we beat North Carolina tomorrow? If so, who on the offense steps up besides Travis?
Corbin.
I mean, I'm about to say, who's been stepping up the whole year? The running backs.
Corbin. Yeah.
Both of them. Ward and Corbin. They've been toting the rock. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you want, son?
I don't know. What's the receiver again? Parchment?
Yeah, Andrew Parchment. Yeah.
I tell you, North Carolina can't cover. My opinion, they can't cover.
He weighed in at 238, which is only 4 pounds heavier than the second fight. Fury weighed in at 277.
Listen, does Iowa really play Penn State tomorrow? Because I'll take Penn State in the upset.
They must do.
Yeah, I put money on that. I put money in. Big Ten football is so boring, but I put money on Penn State winning it. I like Franklin. Franklin gets the signature win and loses to Ohio State.
Michigan's still undefeated?
Yeah. They played who they play?
Go watch Paw Patrol.
Are you surprised that they're still undefeated?
Well, I haven't really paid attention to their schedule, but I'm kind of surprised that Michigan is. Last year, Michigan wasn't good at all.
So they
but that COVID year seems to just have messed everybody up.
Right. You feel me? They do they beat Rutgers by 7, but then beat Wisconsin by 21. Whatever that's worth.
Yeah, so
whatever that's worth. Wisconsin is 1-3.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, Wisconsin is one. They lost
not like
Wisconsin worse than y'all did. Was that?
I said that's not like Wisconsin football.
1-3, only win Eastern Michigan. Money Gang, my answer is going to be biased. So I'm not going to answer.
Who do you guys think has a brighter future between FSU and Miami. I mean, what is a brighter future? I don't know. Who turns it around quicker? Or like, what are we asking?
Hey, Adrian, can I say this?
What are we asking? Because
the guys that we have. So first of all, you guys, your generational talent is coming in this class, right? That's Hunter. That's your guy, right? I think we have those two guys for us, maybe three for us already. So I don't know if he means who gets there sooner, you know what I mean, or who ultimately hits the highest peak. Because if it's sooner, that's not fair because we can look at our guys play at Miami right now, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all can't look at, like right now, obviously Hunter, okay, but you don't know what the other kids are gonna do, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I guess if you're asking who has a brighter future sooner, I mean, I don't know. Talent-wise, sure, I'll say maybe Miami is further along.
It's only because we got there earlier. That's
because but I don't know. It's hard for me to say that a team that's been for the last 20 years has been continually trying to get back.
Mm-hmm.
People forget FSU and Miami had a similar down spurt, after like 2001. I think 2001 was the last national championship 2000 was the last national championship Florida State had played in. And they were kind of traded water up until Jimbo. And Miami, 2001 was the last one y'all played in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against Ohio State. So kind of that same time span, Florida State has been a little bit more consistent, in my opinion. So I don't know. But if you want to talk about the rosters, I do think that y'all have a better roster right now. Better quarterback. You have a better quarterback situation because you do have Garcia. So yeah, I would agree with that.
And again, I just think it's a matter.
We don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, it's a matter of timing. I think, and I don't know why they be very like. I know you're not high on Travis, but he's the quintessential college dual threat quarterback.
It's not that I'm not high on him. He makes his mistakes. I got it. I've been way more against how they've utilized the two quarterbacks. I always felt like pick a guy. Yes, I was pro Milton. I thought Milton brought you some things in the passing game that Travis couldn't bring you. In my opinion, they never gave neither quarterback a legit shot because they continued to rotate them out week in and week out. How can you expect anything? They did exactly what I said they didn't need to do before the season started. I was like, man, they just can't you can't do this rotating quarterback thing. And guess what they did? Rotated the quarterback.
Right.
So it's like, as far as I'm concerned, if Travis is the guy, man, go ride with Travis the entire year. But don't be throwing out Milton just because you want a feel-good story.
Pick
your guy.
And can I just throw this out there because I feel like we dealt with the same thing with De'Aaron King. They put no timetable on his return, FYI. I thought that was pretty interesting. De'Aaron King. So they didn't put a return date on him.
You think he's done?
I think he hangs it up. In my eyes, you got your NIL money. NFL, you're going to make a practice squad, try to earn your keep there at slot receiver. You know what I'm saying? I think he's done. I think Miami's moved on from that. But, Adrian, I do think just with Travis, right, if you're going to do one thing, if you're going to be good or if you're going to be bad, at least be good at one thing. And Travis makes your running game pop, right? My opinion, right? So when we got Tate Martell to transfer from Ohio State, you can ask Adam this. I said, listen, I don't know if that kid can throw the ball, but he should be a read option demon. You know what I'm saying? He should be a kid that could tuck that option, and you might not even know if he ever had the football to begin with. That's what his game should have been. And he helps the run game out. So if that's what Travis is for y'all, man, just ride it until you get your guy in Duffy. and maybe that's what administration is giving.
Well, fun fact: Norvell hasn't won a game unless Travis has been a starting quarterback.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, he should go with what he knows.
There you go. There you go. And he's a Palm Beach kid, which is always great. Which is always great. DF, we don't have a Travis Hunter on your. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. He's joking, man. I'm not going to trust nobody who makes up restaurants to go get burgers at, bro. I ain't going to trust nobody that makes up restaurants to go get burgers at. Dog.
Isn't Garcia listed as injured? Do you think he's hurt, or they just being safe with him?
I think he's got a couple broken or something in his foot from that one run he had against Coastal Carolina. Somebody rode up on his foot pretty bad. Yeah, I really like Adrian. You know me, man. I'm really trying not to be a fan, man. But there's clearly a difference between the two kids. A quarterback that seeks to push the ball downfield first and can do so very, very well, man. He's in my book. Definitely in my book. I thought it was his foot, man. I didn't know it was the ankle. I thought it was the foot.
Do you think that a firing of Manny hurts your recruiting?
It depends on when you fire him. But again, Adrian, I said it earlier. Who's the coach? Who are you promising me once you fire Manny Diaz? Right? Like that.
You think it's safer to do it at the end of the year than it is?
Absolutely. Get through the early signing period. You know what I'm saying? Get the guys that you think you can get, and then get the guy that you want at the head coaching position, right? But I say this, man. If we don't get a guy that can work with quarterbacks, I'd be very disappointed, man. I really want to see Garcia do a good job. I really, really do, man.
I hear you there. I mean, hey, got a top quarterback recruit. If you do a coaching change, Lashley's probably out the door. I mean, that's obviously anything can happen. The guy could decide to keep Lashley, depending on the type of coach you guys hire. What up, OG? I do think that for you guys, if you get rid of Manny, the coach that you're hiring, Garcia has to be in mind with that hire. Look, man, that's how you gotta. I don't know who's the last big quarterback recruit y'all have had, but Garcia's pretty notable up there, at least in recent years.
He's more talented than Brad Kaya is. I know some people might not like me saying that, but the reality, he's way more talented than Brad was at that stage, and I love Brad. Love Brad to death. Love Brad to death. Miami will have an RB. I mean, that's your opinion, bro. That's your opinion. The only person that wants Thad Franklin gone is his daddy. I don't think Thad wants to leave.
His dad wants him out? Why?
His dad made something comment. He's too talented to sit on anybody's bench. Is what his dad said. All right, bro.
I hate when parents do that, bro. Stop trying to live vicariously through your kid, man.
What are you trying to achieve?
You think your freshman son was going to come in and really get? Wasn't that a 3-star? Now stars aren't everything.
He was a 4. He was a lower tier 4, but he was a 4.
Okay, but come on.
But again, if Miami was healthy at the running back position fully, Don Chaney would have probably taken over the position.
Yeah, Chaney probably would be our starter.
Chaney's a monster. I don't think anybody can disagree with that. And Thad knew that when he signed up. He knew that when he signed up. He
knew Rooster's on the roster too. I don't know. Come on. I don't know. I don't like when parents do that.
It's corny, bro. Just support your kids, bro.
That's it.
Support your kids, bro. Tyler in the building. What's up, Tyler?
I remember Kyle. I remember the great Kyle, right?
But that's when we was chasing stars. Again, bro, kind of what Clemson is doing right now. We was really out there chasing stars. Like, man, like we I talked to Mike about we got to get Mike on the show one day, by the way.
If he's willing to come on.
I got to get him in, but I was talking to Mike. I was like, man, like, how does Miami ruin what it has? Miami's really never supposed to be about getting all your blue chip parade All-Americans, bro. Like, You get kids from Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach that have been playing football since they were 7, smacking people. That's what you're supposed to recruit him. I don't care what his stars are, as long as he's got the body type, get him in there. But you go look for Kyle Wright. Again, you go look for Kyle Wright, but we missed on Lamar Jackson, Teddy Bridgewater. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make no kind of sense. Isn't that Clemson from Westlake, the Elite 11 kid? You know who that is, Adrian?
Yeah, the name sounds familiar. I think he's the Clemson commit. I think.
I don't know. I haven't watched them.
Me neither. But we can.
Yeah, we can get back to you on it.
Hold on, I got you.
Yeah, I'll be right back, bro. My bad.
Yeah, do you think? I'm gonna look up. Here we go. I'm gonna look up this kid. Let's go quarterbacks. Yeah, he's the Clemson commit out of Austin, Texas. Let's check him out. Because I don't have any opinion on him because I haven't watched him. My favorite UM recruit was Willie Williams. So let's bring that up here. .6'2", the number 3 quarterback. I mean, hell, with the way DJ's played this year, this guy might be playing football. They got Elite 11 highlights. I don't really want to watch any Elite 11 highlights, but they don't have anything more recent than that. They got the 7-on-7 highlights. I don't really want to watch that either. I guess we'll watch his Elite. They got some junior film. What should I watch? What should we watch? Because I don't really want to watch any Elite 11 stuff. What is my prediction for the Tar Heels and Oaks? I'm not picking a win. I don't have a score prediction. Watch his junior film. All right, let's check it out. His junior film. This team just doesn't show me enough for me to predict wins. Junior season. Let's do it then.
Westlake a little powerhouse now.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
DF, everybody loves Willie Williams, man. Everybody loves Willie Williams, dog. Did you get K's huddle up there, Alo?
Yeah, I'm bringing it up now. Y'all should see it. This is his here, let me take that off too so we can see it. This is his junior film. Doesn't have any senior film out yet.
That's a good ball. It's a real good ball. He'll run funny to you.
Yeah, I was just thinking this. That boy running like he's running from a dog.
Yeah. It's a good ball. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Okay.
Was a little athletic.
I
don't like that throw, but
you got to complete.
He got it. Yeah, he completed it.
He completed that deep out. That's crazy. Them boys slow, dog.
Slow is
them boys slow, dog. I mean, look, it's on time. He knows what he's doing. He knows what. Okay, that's a nice little move right there. Ooh, good ball. We got a good ball. That's a good ball, dog. That's a really good ball. Why is everybody so slow, Adrian? I don't get it.
I mean, look at the teams.
Yeah. Yeah. He might be as fast as his receiver.
That's what I'm seriously, like if I pause it right now, do you see a brother on the field?
Nah.
This is Texas.
No. Only on the other team, it seems like, bro. I mean, he looks good, man.
He got a little athleticism.
Yeah, he's got a little wiggle to him. Yo, sprint option. Yep, that's easy money. That's a good call. It's a really good call. Oh yeah. I like his release too, man. He's got a little jittery release, man. I like it. Good ball.
I like how he stood in there and delivered that one.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bro, it don't even look like he's fully extending his arm when he spins it.
That one, he damn sure didn't.
Yeah, he can move. Okay.
He really just hit the sideline on him like that.
So that's against Carroll. That's against South Lake Carroll, man.
It said he outdueled Edwards.
Yeah, that's Carroll. Yeah, that's Carroll High School. Yeah. But you know, I'm not a big fan of Ewers, bro.
Yeah. That's how you pronounce his name, Ewers?
Yeah, Quinn Ewers. He throws a good ball, man. You got to give it to the kid. He throws a good ball, quick release. That's about as good as it gets right there. Oh no, I say this, man. I don't know if I crown the kid.
I like that one.
It's a good ball.
Yeah, I like that one.
Bam, out of his. Look at that, 3/4 out of his hand. Bam. He's probably a 4.7, 4.75 kid right now. Good ball. Here you go again. Bomb. They kill that RPO, don't they? That deep slant, damn near a post.
All right.
I like the release more than anything, man. That's my favorite part is the release there. Davies, I want to see Duncanville live versus Modern Day. Modern Day got a quarterback coming out, boy. That kid is crazy. Crazy right now, man. Absolutely crazy. So who you got tomorrow, Elo? Y'all got North Carolina.
Hold on. Yeah. We got North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking over some of these other quarterbacks. I guess we're going to find out how good Sam Horn really is now, huh?
He's so trash. Who they play?
I don't know who they play. I just know Hunter's missing like 4 or 6 weeks.
Okay, so he's going to have to play without him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I hated watching that. It's like, man, we was talking about it, man. I'm watching Jakari Brown go to war. You know what I'm saying? And your boy Horn's back there. Let me just wait till Travis get on offense so I can look good again.
Like, pretty much. That's pretty much the way that goes.
Wait till Travis show up.
I'm just looking at some of these other guys. Have you watched Walker Howard?
Nah, man.
DJ finna transfer. I mean, that's. Do I think?
Go where?
I don't know. Do you think K can come in and challenge DJ off the rip? I don't know.
Look, man. Man, I don't question you watching football, but Listen, boy, if I saw Cade in the practice and I saw DJ in the practice,
yeah,
Cade, you down somewhere.
Not really.
I tell you what, though, the leash is short on DJ.
Do you think that boy in Ole Miss is the real deal? Carroll?
I love him. I love his game. Yeah. I liked him since high school. We saw him again, me and Mike, watching the Under Armour or whatever it was, Army All-American game. I thought he was the best kid on the field by a wide margin. He's an absolute killer, man. He can spin it. Arizona State up on Stanford 7-0, by the way.
What you say?
Arizona State just scored up 7-0 on Stanford. Jaden Daniels looks like 60, 55, 60, 51-yard touchdown. Yeah, on his legs. I hope Herm Edwards does good, man. I like him, bro.
It's Bama. The only one that hurts me is Pritchett, because Pritchett was legit. Like, Pritchett was a legit possibility for us. Skinner, I'm not saying he wasn't legit, but at a certain point, I think the consensus was that Skinner was no longer in the picture for a while now. But Pritchett, man, like if you want to make the turnaround, that was one of the guys that you kind of needed. You know, want to speed that process up. But again, Ardavius, you can't go 1-4 and say you about to land these guys. Like, it doesn't work that way. Never in the history of college football has it ever worked that way, and it's not going to work that way. You don't go 1-4 and land the top guys in the country.
And respectfully, technically they haven't put pen to paper yet.
Right? Anything can happen.
So what can really, the ownership is on those coaches, man. What can we show this kid to get that commitment back our way?
So I'll say this, since you kind of brought up an interesting point, right? Pen's not on the paper with anybody.
No.
So nothing's changing. Like, I mean, a lot can change if you show some of these kids something different. Just from a Florida State standpoint, I don't know if people understand how big this North Carolina game is so big that you legit have a chance going into Clemson to be a 500 football team after starting 0-4, because we're going to beat UMass. Think about that. We're 1-4. If you beat North Carolina, you're 2-4. You get a bye week, you're going to be 3-4 because you're going to beat UMass. You legit have a chance to go into Clemson with a chance to come out of that game 500, and now a bowl game is looking really feasible right now.
It just depends on.
But if you go 1-5, then that's almost all but out the picture. You know what I mean?
I think if y'all do y'all play Clemson before y'all play us?
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all can't be. Would it be 2-4? 2-4, 1-5?
If we what?
If y'all beat UMass and lose to Clemson, no.
We were
Excuse me, you'd be 2-5 at that point, right?
If we were to lose tomorrow?
Yeah. You lose tomorrow, beat UMass, 1-5. Lose to Clemson. Okay.
You're gonna be 2-5, lose to Clemson, you're 2-6.
Yeah, okay, that's tough. And to your point, we just talk about recruits. That's a tough sell.
Yeah, you can't sell that.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't sell that.
Yeah.
Now you beat North Carolina, and you got a lot of better. The situation looks a lot better. You can beat North Carolina. Do I think they can do it? Can they? Yes. We saw it last year. They figured out a way to do it. Will they? That's another question. I'm telling you now, I'm not picking them. This team hasn't showed me any reason to pick them. But wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. They said, and so I was going to get to that, Adrian. Mr. Ballard down there. Do you really believe that it's a scheme problem at FSU?
And what
for your DBs, you think it's a scheme problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a personnel problem. I don't know if those two things are the same.
They are.
I'll let you tell me that. But I think they are playing guys at corner that probably should be safeties and vice versa. That's my issue.
Okay. So, I don't know.
I think when you, again, I've always had a problem with, from what I watch from Fuller, a lot of times people beg for, we got to play man-to-man. We got to play this. Well, I'm watching our guys in man-to-man, and I'm thinking, I don't know if we have man-to-man guys. But what I do know is that we don't have safeties that should be playing man-to-man. But he likes to match his safeties in man-to-man. Okay. Likes to play cover one high for whatever reason. Fine, but you got to have the players to do so. So that's kind of been my issue. Again, to me, that's just my issue is how he uses what we have.
I can think of 3 safeties that I would trust in man-to-man coverage in life.
Right. I've reiterated that. Like, how many safeties are you really picking in the history of football? Like to do it on a consistent basis, and it's not,
I don't know, man. That's I can see that.
Here's my thing. Like, even if you want to say talent, you trying to tell me Wake Forest has more talent? You trying to tell me
no.
Louisville? Yeah. Like, I mean, come on. We got talent, man. We got the talent to be competitive. We just don't have a coach, in my opinion, that's using the guys to their maximum abilities.
FYI, both back to your question earlier about the best system or the best scheme defensively.
Yeah,
both of those teams you mentioned, they're based out of odd fronts. Last I checked, they're based out of odd fronts. You can recruit. If y'all don't know offensive linemen or linemen in general, don't be offended by this. You can recruit a fat kid. You can always recruit a fat kid to play nose. You can recruit 3 or 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? And then let me figure out what I'm gonna do everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? That's the cool thing about that odd front, man. If I could just have a 2-gapper, you sit right there and eat up blocks for 4 quarters. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have one though.
Yeah, you right. I told you last year I didn't like Fuller's scheme for y'all. I don't think it fit. Kind of like I didn't like Al Golden's scheme for Miami. It just a lot of zone, a lot of just stuff that we don't do in South Florida.
Yeah.
King is going to make a great. I agree. I think that's his future at this point. Firewater in the building. Did Travis J mess with one of the coach's daughters? Wow.
I don't know. I didn't even see that one. Yeah, he's been buried on the depth chart. He got in somebody's doghouse. We'll say that. I don't know. Jurgen King wants to come back next year as a coach. What do you do?
I think you let him. I think he's a good kid. I think he's a good man. I think
as a coach, why wouldn't you let him be a GA or something? I don't know. It wouldn't hurt nobody.
Absolutely. But I think the future, man, that Jake Garcia, man, I'm really not blowing smoke either, man. That kid can spin it. I don't care what anybody says, that kid can spin it, man, and he's not scared, bro. He acts like a South Florida kid, which is probably.
So you don't think Van Dyke has a shot?
I don't think Van Dyke is anywhere near as talented. I don't. I really don't. So, Adrian, if you say has a shot to be a starter, well, Van Dyke may get 4 straight games, right? Because he's not, but he's not. So he'll get 3 or 4 straight games before Garcia can even threaten him. So what if he comes in them 3 or 4? What if he ends up being 3-1 after that? I'm not saying that it's a legit possibility, but yeah, if that happens, you may never see Garcia. Or what if it's 2-2, but the team's averaging 38 points a game while you're at quarterback? You know what I'm saying? I think that's the type of thing that can stop Garcia from getting on the field this year. But after the summertime, I don't even think it's a question. I don't even think it's a question.
What scheme should FSU run on defense, in you guys' opinion, to maximize the talent we have now and going forward? Well, I don't know. Going forward is a little different than what we have now. This seems so confusing to me because I'm looking at a defensive line that's really carrying the defense. But we got to fix our linebackers, man.
Can I chime in on that? I'm not an FSU fan.
Yeah, go ahead.
But the better question is, how do you play defense right now in the state of Florida? And they've been doing the same thing for 100 years, right? Which is, we're going to press man, we're going to play single safety high, and if you beat me, you beat me, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you have to play football at these schools. That's when we hired Manny Diaz, Adrian, and I told you this because you were a Kiffin guy. You're like, man, I don't know, y'all should go after Lane. I remember that.
Yeah, I did see that.
And I was telling you, I said, I want Diaz
because he was in South Florida at the time, so I was like.
But with Diaz, for me, it was, man, when's the last time we've seen a Miami defense look like some Florida kids? You know what I'm saying? Doing things that we do in Florida, like be reckless. You know what I'm saying?
And that's my problem with what you just said with us. It's like, that shit sound good until I'm like looking at them and I'm like, do we even got the kids to do what you asking us to do at this point?
Against Syracuse, against everybody that's not Clemson, maybe Miami. Yes.
Should be able to, right?
Right. In theory. Now, obviously, like, guys, I mean, you don't play man 100% of the time, whatever, but you got to contest, man. You got to contest at the line of scrimmage. Like, I think it was Nucci earlier.
And man, that's what baffles me. Go ahead and finish your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all good. But Nucci earlier was like, oh, man, Pee Wee games in Florida get more attraction than Miami games. Okay, cool. But man, what are them kids doing in Pee Wee in Florida, boy? We teach kids how to press man. Like, we don't teach kids how to play cover 4.
And
you know what I mean?
But the problem, what pisses me off when I watch these teams line up and man, how you impress man and your receivers getting free release, you not even touching them.
Come on, bro.
What's the point then?
Come on, bro.
What is the point? I'm so sick of watching DBs impress and not even touch the damn receiver.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing then if that's the case? And I don't know if that's being taught or what that is.
You're absolutely right, bro. I don't get that either. And if it's not being taught, you're not good enough. Get better fast, please.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Get better fast, please. Put some hands on somebody.
So,
but even with that, Xavier Rhodes, talking about an FSU guy, made a career off of that, right? Showing press and bailing out to cover 3, or if he's pressing, he is going to jam you, right? That was Artie Burns at Miami. He was a press and bail corner at Miami under Al Golden. He's the only kid that I think Golden figured out how to use. Get your hand, man. We got athletes, man. Get your hands on these guys. Worry about cover 4 when it's 3rd and 27. You
gotta touch, man. Yeah, you gotta touch these guys, the receivers, and I don't understand it.
I agree, Hundo.
I'm watching these receivers. I'm just talking about FSU's guy. I'm watching these DBs. First of all, we play off most of the time, which okay, whatever. And then it's like when they do this out of press, no one's touching anybody. And I'm like, well, damn it, what's the point of being in this grill if you're just letting them run right past you?
Line up in 4 and get closer to the line of scrimmage.
Like, what are we doing?
Crazy, man. Losing to Jackson State ruined all hope. So I want to say that. You think Jackson State ruined all hopes of getting to a bowl game, Adrian?
From the numbers, I would say no. That Jacksonville State is what it is. Of course, it hurts. But again, I'm telling you, if you beat North Carolina, you're going to beat UMass. You're going to be 3-4. Anything can happen. Clemson is not a world beater this year.
Nope.
And if you're on a 3-game winning streak going into Clemson, anything can happen in that game. If all of a sudden you're 4-4 after Clemson, I don't think statistically, no, it didn't ruin it. But I understand what he's saying. He's like, that's a gimme. That should have been a gimme. Like, FSU should at least have 2 wins. You feel me? So I understand what he's trying to say.
Yeah, and I get it. That was one of your guarantees. Yep. Simple as that, man. I have never played when I was coaching in South Florida. None of the good teams played too high, unless they were 3rd and long situations, and even then they were still playing single high.
I'm about to say
You know, maybe single high off. You know what I mean? But they just run.
Honest with you, in the, I don't recall them ever teaching much of a zone at all.
It's unnecessary.
In Florida, we didn't play it. We didn't play zones in Florida.
It's unnecessary.
That's why I know there was a big deal made when your boy said he didn't know what his zone coverage was, and I'm like, bro, some of y'all don't need to talk football. Phillips don't need to know what a zone coverage is. First of all, he's a defensive end. Of course, he don't know what cover 3 is. What do you need to know what cover 3 is?
Them jokers were over there. Oh, well, he's a stand-up linebacker in the league. They should have prepared him for it. Y'all sound so stupid right now. Y'all like.
Some people don't need to talk ball, man.
What's that?
Some people don't need to talk ball.
No, bro, Adrian. I don't think people understand how hard it is to be an elite defensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? Let alone, sorry about that, but let alone an all-encompassing. You know what I'm saying? You have so many techniques you have to learn: hand movement, hand placement, taking the right step, attacking the offensive tackle, attacking the guard the right way. Why do you need to learn cover 3? Just get in the backfield. Get in the backfield. That's all that matters. Let somebody else teach you how to cover curl flags. Leave that for coaches.
But that's like somebody saying, "What? Your guard don't know what a flag route is?" The fuck is this?
Block the 3 technique.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, I remember that whole conversation. I was like, man, these guys are idiots. Mm-hmm. But then you don't want to say people are idiots, but you just listen and like, man.
And what killed me is that Miami fans were like, "Oh man, that shows that."
They tried to use that as a way to condemn Manny, and I even put it on Twitter. Like, I'm like, bro, as a Florida State fan, this got to be the dumbest conversation you Miami fans have ever had.
Grow up, man. Gotta grow up, man. Stanford just tied Arizona 7-7, by the way.
Gotta be the dumbest conversation. Y'all can't use the fact that Jalen Phillips don't know what cover 3 is as a way to discredit Manny Diaz. There's a lot of things that we can talk about with Manny Diaz, but that ain't one of them.
Hey, don't credit him for having 2 first-rounders in the league last year, you know. But hey, he didn't know cover 3 though.
That was one of the most idiotic conversations I had seen.
Come on, hey man. To your point, Adrian. Let me make sure my center knows how to run halfback zone properly. You know what I mean?
What are we talking about?
Come on, man. He's got a block for it. He should know the whole. Get out of here, bro.
Honestly, if a guard knows all that and his position, he might be a future. I mean, true. But that ain't got nothing to do with what he's doing. That ain't got nothing to do with what he's doing on the football field right now.
Let me ask y'all something. Did Walter Jones know any of the route combinations?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Because all Walter Jones knows is that I have to protect for a 7-man drop, a 7-step drop. I got to protect for a 5-step drop. I got to protect for a 3. I got to get out on the screen. That's all that matters. That's all that matters to him. All that matters to him.
Yes, are y'all the worst Power 5 team in tackling? Is that true, or is that just?
Yeah, we're terrible. We're terrible. It's again, we're doing what bad teams do right now, and it's crazy. If you really watch our games, we're there. We're really there. So many times we're there, but for whatever reason, we don't know how to tackle people. You know, we really, really don't, man.
At least you're there.
We
don't even be there.
That's how I feel about it, man. Like I don't know. I don't think Manny stopped teaching tackling. Something's disconnected. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
So what else you want to go over, man? We've been two hours in. It don't even feel like it, but
no, man, we flying. I don't know, man. I mean, from a college standpoint,
for me, it's a lot of poor angles.
I would disagree. I just think it's bad tackling. I think we're getting there. I think we're surprised that we're there. Does that make sense? I think the players legitimately looking at a guy like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like Adrian's standing right in front of me right now. I'm like, that's the guy. You know what I mean? Well, I'll throw this out there, Firewater. The Seahawks, under the Legion of Boom, one of the best defenses in the NFL, are the ones who pioneered that at the pro level. So I don't think it has an issue to do with tackling a tire. I think it has an issue to do with just not being good at tackling. I don't know, Adrian, what do you think about that?
Honestly, I don't. For my kind of philosophy on tackling is kind of like you have to want to tackle.
Sure.
Like that's one of those things where like you can teach proper technique, but you know the guys that want to hit. Mm-hmm. Like those guys just are different. Mm-hmm. That's just from my experience. Like you see guys who want to hit and don't want to hit. Now there are situations where, you know, leading with your shoulders, you know, that those things could. But from what I've seen from Miami, like I watched the Bama game and y'all were, like you just said, y'all were there. Just Bama was breaking tackles. Is that strength and conditioning? Is that, what is that? You know,
I think to your point, though,
to me, it's just want to.
I was going to say, to your point, I don't think we got any dumpers like that. Like dudes who just wake up every morning like, man, I'm
about to hit somebody. You feel me?
Yeah, my shoulder need to go through somebody's chest today.
Yes, that's how I feel about tackling. Because I watched the Bama game. I felt like y'all actually were in good positions on a lot of defensive plays, and you guys were just breaking tackles. So again, is that want to? Is that strength and conditioning? What does that boil down to?
I think it's want to. I think you can drill tackling as much as you want to, but
you gotta want it. That's how I feel. Bull always tackled with great technique and explosion without penalty most of the time, but they were also dog mentality. There you go. That last sentence.
That's it. 160. Yep, that's about right. But Dave, it's not because, again, I don't think it's because of that damn thing, bro. Like, if you look at, I'm sorry to get on a Miami tangent, right? But the way Manny Diaz plays defense, right? Something is slanting and something is countering the slant, right? So if your front is slanting, then you probably have a striker, inside linebacker, a safety countering the slant through one of the gaps. And if that person gets there and doesn't understand that they're supposed to be a defender, an offensive player right there, they basically seem like they're surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like when we play Michigan State, like we blitz off the edge and be surprised that we're on block and we're looking at the quarterback like, oh, hey, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think the problem is they're not understanding that once you get to that point, you got to finish through the play. That's what I think. Redavius, argue with Richard Sherman and Bobby Wagner.
But where do you think this conversation comes from? The donut attack,
old school football.
It's just old school mentality, or is it just
old school football players? Absolutely. And guys, I don't knock old school, man, but guys, it's a different game. So you say, oh, Miami practices with the tackling dummy. Guys, how many D1 programs? 130 of them. I guarantee you.
But yeah.
Okay. Let's say 130.
Yeah.
I guarantee you 125 of them employ something like that. And the ones that don't have 120 people on their roster, and only 85 of them are scholarship. Oklahoma drills probably. I'm not gonna lie to you. This may be controversial in here. If I started coaching again today, I'd never run an Oklahoma drill. In retrospect, it's a waste of time. I'd rather have you tackle each other than run through an Oklahoma drill. It's a waste of time. It's absolutely a waste of time. It really is just a pissing contest. And honestly, if you're bigger, stronger, faster than the next man,
I feel like the Oklahoma drill was used in Pop Warner as just a way to, you know, I actually agree with you there. Like
you have to wake up and like, hey, this is you got to separate the little boys from the big kids.
The Oklahoma drill was used as a way to just. I feel like it was a way to use like that kid that to try to get something extra. I don't know, prove that kid that maybe you trying to bring something out of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you line them up down there, and he said, "Coach Dirk, you going soft."
You know, some of the best coaching advice I heard was in I think it was Gus Malzahn that was teaching it. It was just like a seminar or whatever. All they do in practice on offense is run through formations. Isn't that crazy? So they'll come through and they'll teach kids. Say they got 30 different pass concepts, Adrian. They'll teach all 30 pass concepts, but they don't condition, and all they do is run through formations and use their formations as their conditioning. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, we got to go from, slot right A wing or something like that and flip it, to slot left A wing, and you got to sprint, you got to go full speed because we're a hurry up offense. I think stuff like that is dope. I definitely think stuff like that is dope.
It's outlawed in some states, is it?
Because of that neck, boy.
Yeah.
Because of that neck, boy.
Yeah, like that's what I was trying to say. Basically, almost like an initiation. Basically, like, welcome to football. And you could tell who was scared and, who didn't know how to tackle, So I agree. Like, Oklahoma drill, yeah, it's old school, but in a lot of ways, what did Oklahoma drill really teach you? How many coaches you ever see really break down Oklahoma drill? Like, hey, no. You let two guys go out there and run into each other. Okay, cool. Next.
Yeah. Arizona State 14-7, by the way. Oklahoma is he really no game?
Does it?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Y'all, you could run a box. You can run a box drill. Start at the center of the box, go to a cone, turn around. You can run a box drill for way better reaction. There's not actually nothing football oriented to Oklahoma drill if you really think about it.
It's really not.
You'll never be in that situation.
You'll never in a game be in a situation where you're getting off the ground and running headfirst into another person.
Right. Dave, you're saying that, Dave, but who's he tackling? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the number one tackler against receivers on hitch routes. Who's he tackling? Is he meeting who's the running back for Alabama, Harris or whatever his name is? Is he meeting that kid in the backfield?
I like the angle drill, in my opinion.
That's what I'm talking about, E-Dub. Excuse me. I call it a box drill, angle drill. Absolutely.
Yeah, ego boost, like we said.
One thing we haven't followed up on, because it's that time of the night. Kyle Pitts. I try to tell y'all, all y'all in here, I told y'all Kyle Pitts is overrated. I told y'all, okay? And number two,
forgot about old Kyle.
Hey, you thought I forgot? So Kyle Pitts is overrated, and then Trevor Lawrence, what he looking like right now? That's a good question. Trevor Lawrence looking mighty average.
Maybe they want me to go back to this one real quick because I know y'all were having this Tyreek Stevenson conversation. And this is what Tyreek Stevenson said when he got to Miami.
The difference is that Georgia can dress 120 kids at practice. That's it, man. I don't know what to tell you, dog. Like, you can say that it's different all it wants to, but again, that's not why Tyreek is the best tackler. Tyreek is not tackling the type of targets that you're talking about, a Sam Brooks or a Corey Flagg or these guys having to tackle, And no, I won't leave Pitts alone.
Rookie tight ends rarely come in the NFL and dominate. So why did they take him for?
That was
the whole conversation. That was the conversation the whole time, Firewater. It's not necessarily like Kyle Pitts sucks. No one's saying that the man sucks.
Right.
But is he the number 4? Was he a generational? Somebody called him Calvin Megatron 2.0. Like, he was never gonna be that.
Come on.
And for a Falcon team that has so many other holes, that your tight end was the number 4 pick, that was ridiculous. You feel me? That was the problem with the pick.
That's gonna go down, and
of course you got the bag, and congratulations on getting it.
But guess what? He got a bag, and he's going to hold L's. The best offensive player on that team is Cordero Patterson, right? Cordero Patterson, who's been on 6 different NFL teams, is the best offense. Not Kyle Pitts, this generation talent.
Fields was there for the taking, wasn't he?
He was, and he's in.
And you could have sat him a year behind Matt Ryan before choosing to do anything else.
Yep.
I think that's the thing we were saying pre-draft. Like, Pitts should not be the guy. Unless you were going to keep Julio and kind of try to make one last run with that roster. But obviously that's not what they did.
Hold on. Micah Parsons looks overrated.
No.
Redanius, what you watching? What you watching, my guy? What you watch? I know you hear. I think he's here in Texas. I don't know which Cowboys you watching. Micah Parsons looks like a beast. I don't know how you feel about that.
He doesn't look overrated to me. He's a transfer, and we can clearly see he's been coached up far better than our guys here under Manny.
Okay. I just don't know how to respond to that. I think he's playing better, but he was also more talented than any of those guys at the cornerback position. Okay, Red Davies, that makes sense. Yep. What we call him?
It's the Notre Dame guy, yeah.
Yeah, the African dude. Yep. He was dope.
I'm glad they took Pitts because Jerry was going to trade for him, and Parsons is a beast. Was Jerry really considering trading for Pitts?
Could you now Pitts in that offense though? He would have been wide open.
Yeah, but they needed deep. The Cowboys needed defense though.
Yeah. Y'all be stuck with Jalen Smith on that big contract next year. You know.
Parsons looked better at D end than the linebacker.
I thought he was a 34 outside linebacker when he came.
But say that's what I was about to say. I always felt like he was a edge rush player anyway. Mm-hmm. Kellen Moore is going to get a huge bag.
I think he'll get a head coaching job. To be honest with you, I think he'll get one early. Be the next Bill Belichick.
And this is very early to ask this question, but since we're on the NFL, let's stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is Herbert going to go down as the best Chargers quarterback? Is he going to be better than Phillip? I like him better than Phillip already. And I know that's way early to say that, but I watched Justin Herbert. I like him better than Phillip Rivers already.
You know what I think? He'll be better than Phillip. I don't think he'll win a Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, it's the Chargers, so
I don't think he'll win a Super Bowl. I think the Chargers are going to be like the Bills in the 90s.
That team's got talent, though.
They're talented.
Our team's got talent.
I don't think the Chargers are going to do it, man.
Kill more to you.
Here you go. He had an ugly throwing motion, and he turned the ball over a ton.
I'm not saying he's better than Rivers. I get it. I get what I'm saying. It might be controversial, but I'm saying when I watch him, I think Herbert has – and Phillips was for all intents and purposes, Phillips had a damn good professional career.
Mm-hmm. Borderline Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Damn good quarterback. I don't know, man, but Herbert, man, I like him.
Yeah. No, he looks good. He looks the part. 6'6", 230.
I like him.
Spinning it. I don't like the fact that
Surtain has been he's impressed me more so. I love Asante, but Surtain, I had questions coming out of Bama. Mm-hmm. And he's been that guy.
What about
who hasn't been that guy? Since we're on corners? That damn Tyson Campbell, man.
You blame, but do you blame him or do you blame Urban?
Well, I mean the Jaguars organization as a whole. But Campbell showed the same things that he's showing in the NFL in Georgia. He was just never really lived up to all that size and all that he had coming out of high school.
His speed, yeah. Absolutely, man.
I'm a Broncos fan, PS2 putting in work. Yeah, man.
He's a beast. I like him. I think the Broncos if the Broncos figure out their offense, man, they might be pretty good.
Is Trevor Lawrence that bad? Well, he's a rookie. First of all, I think all the rookie quarterbacks have had Zach Wilson has played
garbage.
Fields had some garbage performances, but that kind of went with what the Bears were doing. Who was it that Orlovsky was like, that shit looked intentional. Mm-hmm. But what they did with Fields out there.
Or incredibly
honestly, man, your boy might – I think you said this pre-draft, man. Trey Lance might be the best guy out of that bunch, man. And the way they're using him, and I think he might actually get the start. I think Garoppolo's hurt again.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance might be the best out of that bunch.
Look, man, I'll say this. I didn't call Justin Herbert. I didn't call Josh Allen either. They just didn't impress me. But Lance, right. he could spin it, dog.
Yeah, Lance could spin it.
I don't think Lawrence is good enough to overcome anything other than excellent coaching, if that makes sense. And he's not getting that in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Lance is starting this week. Ashanti's been good. Ashanti's been good. He actually, it's actually crazy because you didn't really see it at Florida State. But in the pros, he almost looks identical to his father, to be honest with you.
That's what NFL scouting does, bro. They figure it out.
Yeah, and they figure out how to use you, yeah. Mm-hmm. He plays just like his dad. Mac Jones has looked the best, and that's because I don't really
He's looked more consistent. He's looked more consistent.
I will, but I also look what they ask him to do. I don't think I saw a chart. Mac Jones is rarely asked to try to complete a pass over like 15 yards. He's literally, they're not asking him to do what they're asking like a Zach Wilson and some of these guys with these bigger arms to do. So not a knock on Mac Jones, but he's not being asked to do the same things.
That's facts. Absolute facts.
How do you feel about Trayvon Diggs?
I don't think he's shut down yet.
I think people looking at the interceptions and, we hype the interceptions, but
I don't think he's shut down yet.
He's a good player, though.
Yeah.
Chargers or Rams? Better team.
Ooh.
Both of them LA teams I'm pretty high on, man.
I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm going to take the Rams, though.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams only because the best defensive tackle of all time plays on.
I will take the Rams, but I'll go and say that I think the Chargers have a more talented team overall.
Sure. Well, high-end talent. No. Well, okay, you're right. They have a better roster.
I think they have a better roster.
You're right.
Especially defensively.
Yeah, you're right.
The Rams might have a better offensive roster.
I just think
because those receivers for the Rams are very underrated.
When you look at, I think you're right, bro. Overall roster, it's just that, man. I mean, you saw like Keyshawn put it in the group today, bro.
Because these boys literally got the Chargers. They got Bosa on the line. They got Derwin and Asante in the secondary.
They got Nwosu, Kenneth Murray Jr.
Yeah, man. Chargers got a roster.
Nazir Adderley. They got a lot.
But I would take the Rams. The Rams have a veteran quarterback. And they do got maybe the two best defensive players in all of football, if we're being honest. On the same defense.
Listen, Aaron Donald. If Aaron Donald gets one more defensive player of the year, he's going to be dubbed the best defensive player of all time. He's that damn good, bro. He's crazy.
Mac Jones has been dinking it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they don't ask him to do much.
Adrian, you think if when the Rams get to the playoff with Ramsey playing in the slot?
Look at DF. Say it again.
But when the Rams get to the playoffs, you got Ramsey playing in the slot, right? And then you got Donald doing his thing. I don't care who's around them at that point. And then
that's what I'm saying. That's why I would take them.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. If they had Cam Akers,
bruh.
Yeah.
I think Cam was on the verge of like emerging into a real focal point of that offense.
He would have had.
And then with the fact that Matt Stafford, you have to legitimately game plan for a Matt Stafford. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it sucks it sucks. That sucks for Cam.
It sure does.
That's all you need a rookie QB to do for now. Manage the game, protect the ball. As he learns more, take more shots down the field later in the season. Smart not to ask a rookie to do a lot.
Sure.
You're not wrong. I'm just saying that he's not asked to do what some of these other quarterbacks. Right. I think talent-wise, Mac Jones is down the list for me.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
He's the right kind of boring, man. That's it. Should the Falcons take a QB in the draft? Absolutely.
You think this year, man, I don't know. That quarterback room ain't looking.
Hey, Malik Willis is my guy, bro. I like that kid.
Okay.
I like that kid. Willis out of Liberty. I think that's his last name.
That's what I'm saying. Falcons should have taken the QB in his last draft. There was a plethora of quarterbacks to take.
I agree, man.
The Chargers secondary is legit, and that's hard for me to say. That's right. You're a Broncos fan.
I think quiet as is kept. Unpopular opinion. I think the Broncos have the best secondary in football. I think man for man, they have the best secondary in football. They have an offense that's going to leave them on the field. That's the only problem. But the Broncos can cover everybody. You mentioned PS2, Adrian. PS2 on one side, Kyle Fuller on the other, Callahan on the inside, Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons. Ronald Darby is arguably the fourth best corner on that roster.
I didn't even know he was with the Broncos.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, they're sick, bro.
Yeah, that's legit.
They're sick, bro.
I mean, I think we've said this though about Derwin. Like, a healthy Derwin might definitely be the best safety in the game. Problem is, he hasn't been healthy.
You
just see him when he's healthy. To me, he just looks different when he's healthy. He just looks different than any other.
He's also playing in the scheme that's letting him move, though, dog. I think that's pretty essential here. I definitely think that's essential right there.
Big Ben should have retired 5 years ago.
Correct. But DF, the Cowboys wide receiver. Come on, man. I ain't gonna say that. As a Bucs fan, I'm not gonna get into that. I just know who won the game.
I like the Carolina team on paper. I was telling Terrence that I like the Carolina team.
We didn't talk about J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn is a dog.
Yeah, man. I told Terrence I like that team. When I told Terrence Sam Darnold was better than what people were, and I'm saying Sam Darnold's not the perfect quarterback, but I think he's better than what they've had there recently.
Yeah.
What up, 226? You're a little late, but what's going on with you? Is Horn hurt?
Yeah, he got a fracture in his foot or something like that.
They picked up Gilmore though, right?
Yeah, he'll be there after week 6. After week 6. Hey, though, I got to call it a night, big dog.
I see you. All right, man. I appreciate you for hopping on. We did 2 hours, so
appreciate
we did over 2 hours. Man.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all boys, man. We'll check y'all out next time, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. Jerk was getting tired on me. Y'all think the Broncos keep Teddy long term? Probably not. I think at this point, Bridgewater's I don't know if he's a franchise guy, right? You keep Teddy, he's there to transition until you get the next guy. So but yeah, since my partner in crime cut it off, we're going to go ahead and call it a night as well. We did almost 3 hours, so we had a good little show here tonight. Nothing too crazy. Tomorrow, y'all already know the deal. Live after UNC. Y'all get that instant reaction. Either way, I'm going to be there, win, lose, or draw. Most likely a loss, but you know how we do. I appreciate it, brother. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. And I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow, man. I still don't know about that fight, man. I don't know if I'm live. I'm probably not going to live stream during it, but I might do something after it, especially if my dog win, then I'll probably be talking a lot of trash. If not, I'll probably go quietly into the night. But I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow, man. As always, keep your head up, Seminoles. It's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. And we got you. All right, D-Dub, I appreciate you.